The all-new FM104 Phone Show contains content of an adult nature. It is being classified by FM104 as suitable for over 15s.
Discretion is advised.
And now, the all-new FM104 Phone Show with Keith Ward.
You're very welcome to the phone show for Tuesday. Numbers, as always, are 53104 for 20 cent, or you can get us on 6797 F104. Coming up in the show, we'll be talking about a mother who basically has been asked to cater for a Muslim child at her kid's birthday party. It's her kid's 9th birthday party this weekend. He's invited one of his classmates who happens to be Muslim. The mother of the Muslim boy rang the mother up and said he will not be attending unless there is halal food on offer. This mother thinks it's absolutely outrageous that she has to cater for one child. Tonight we'll be asking, should she cater for them? Should she respect maybe the cultural issues that come along with it, or maybe you think that it's a step too far? 53104 for 20 cent. And also we'll be talking about the very heartfelt email that we got in by a partner of someone who is in the last stages of motor neurons, and she says it's so horrific to watch that this person should have the right to decide when they die. Tonight we'll be asking, should assisted suicide be made legal in Ireland? It's the all-new FM104 Phone Show.
The all-new FM104 Phone Show with Keith Ward and John Barrell. Need a mattress in a hurry? Mattress Express at Des Kelly Interiors on the Long Mile Road.
FM 104.
Cheers, John. I'm a bit flustered, I must say.
A bit flustered?
I was downstairs just chilling out in my
lost
own
in your old world, yeah.
And John texts me panicking. We're in ads, which basically means we're in an ad break.
Get your arse in studio now is what it means.
I didn't even take the lift. I took the stairs.
You ran up the stairs?
Probably the only time I've ever taken the stairs.
You've got a little bit of a glisten to you now, that you say it, yeah.
I'm a little bit shaky now.
A little bit sweaty there,
yeah. I mean, I don't know how well I'd fare in some sort of athletic event that we possibly might have coming up.
Oh, maybe. We'll say no more, tell no lies.
I'll have to get into training for that sort of thing. You know what you should do? You should have a chairlift in FM104.
They should have a chairlift. I'm just after having an idea. Sorry I sound disinterested.
I feel like I should have had some kind of buzzer. No.
That's a bit much.
Well, it's a rare occasion John has an idea.
How far are you from the studio? Where do you live? From where you live to the studio?
Oh, yeah.
How far are you?
Half an hour, 40 minutes.
Half an hour, 40 minutes.
Why?
I'd be about the same, I'd say.
Yeah.
If we were to have a foot race from both of our houses to work,
that's a good.
Who would get here first?
No, you definitely win. You're not 40 minutes away. Drumcondra isn't 40 minutes away from here.
It's long enough.
It's not that far. Clondalkin is way further.
Right.
So maybe if you give me a head start.
Maybe. Like, how much head start would you want? Because I'm coming from I'm near Glasnevin.
15 minutes. 15 minutes I could probably beat you.
Foot race now.
Foot race, yeah.
Okay.
Jogging, like.
Because I'm just thinking again, we've done this on the show before, where we have a live production meeting live on air.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking if we got two phones that had a decent signal on, you could Facebook Live both.
You could.
Both of the things.
The only thing though, it's similar to what Top Gear did before.
Very similar to Top Gear.
So what we'd have to do is we'd have to think of some hilarious thing in the middle of going, oh no, John just stopped off to get a hot dog at a very strangely placed hot dog stand on the way. You know what I mean? Something would have to happen.
Don't get rid of the magic of it.
You'd have to make it something happened. Oh, Keith got mugged on the way in. He didn't even get out of Clondalkin. Although that wouldn't be unusual for Clondalkin. So
yeah, very true.
You'd expect that, wouldn't you? I suppose. 53104 for 20 cent. If you saw our Facebook Live video earlier on, we're going to give away an FM104 goodie bag. An FM104 power bank.
Yeah, look, we'll do a goodie bag as well.
Oh, now that I've said it.
You've said it now. You can't go back on it.
I've committed to it. So we did a Facebook Live earlier on the FM104 Facebook page. All you got to do is click on, comment what you're up to tonight, considering Tuesday's usually a bit of a dull night.
Yeah, it's not the best day of the week, Keith.
No. Someone got in contact on the page and said they were hiking up the Wicklow Mountains with a GoPro.
Okay, what about we started from here and ran to the Wicklow Mountains? So ran to Howth.
Is Howth near here? Probably. We're down with the docks, by the way. I suppose it is, yeah.
It'd be close enough, like.
What, do you fancy yourself as a bit of a runner?
I don't know why it's in my head, but yes I do.
Yeah, do you have shoes, the correct shoes for it?
Yeah, look at those, look at the bounce on them.
Oh, they wouldn't be good enough.
They would. No. They've got air holes in the bottom.
Actually, I saw, why would you need air holes?
To keep my toes cool.
Alright, I thought it was aerodynamic or something. I saw a guy run past me earlier on and it was very kind of, you're 30 when you're making this comment in your head. This guy was running past, like flat out running, and he's wearing Converse. And I thought to myself, he's going to feel that in the morning.
Yeah, collapsed arches.
Yeah. Anyway, 53104 for 20 cent, 6797 F104. Good evening, Col. Says evening, lads. Anything going on tonight, let us know about, and we will pick someone for that power bank. But we do have power banks to give away tonight.
Oh, we do. There's many ways to win, Keith.
Yeah.
Commenting on the video is one way, but a more active way. One way to ensure that you'll win that power bank
is halfway.
Is to answer this. Is it I've forgotten. Is it a TV show? It's not a TV show, is it?
No, it's a computer game.
Oh, okay.
It's a very popular computer game. I tell you what, I was going to give these away later on, but we have tickets to give away all this week to Faithless, the lead singer of Faithless. Yeah, lead singer of Faithless, August the 8th in the right venue. We've got tickets to give away all this week. I'm going to throw them into the mix as well.
Right.
I'm feeling good, even though flustered from the stare thing. Right, have a listen to this very popular video game.
Video game. You are 30, man.
Computer game. Very popular.
It's just a game. Just call it a game.
All right,
yeah.
A game, fair enough. It's a character from a computer game.
Oh, okay.
Have a listen. Tell us what computer game this is from. 53104 for 20 cent. 6797 F104. Have a listen.
Yeah, we dancer. Killed them. That was easy. Get there. Yeah, we buzzer. Grenade.
What was the last thing you said?
What?
Go to the very end there.
This one.
Grenade.
Just before that.
Buzzer. Grenade.
Oh, okay. Is that buzzer?
Buzzer. Grenade.
It's either buzzer or bastard.
Yeah, we buzzer. Grenade.
It might be bastard, is it?
Is it a Scottish accent? I think it is.
I don't know.
I mean, look, it's a computer game. It doesn't have to be that accurate. What is that? 53104 for 20 cent.
We dancer. Killed them. That was easy. Get there. Yeah, we buzzer. Grenade.
Well, what's your problem with that? What's your problem with that?
I just thought he was cursing.
Strange.
I thought he was cursing in a kid's game, Keith.
It's not a kid's game.
Oh, isn't it?
It's one of those things that looks like it's a kid's game, but it isn't. Like four of you can play it at the same time and getting roused and that sort of thing. It's usually good on, lads' night in or something,
Yeah.
Let me see. How about a good walk? Nice pub, train... What? Sorry, what? How's good walk, use nice train station, pub? Okay, I don't know. Maybe someone's... Do you know what that sounds like?
Someone's in the pub.
That sounds like when your dad's got a new phone and he's trying to work it out.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. What is it about? No offence to a lot of our listeners who are over the age of 50.
Right.
What is... But here's offence on the way. What is your problem with technology? I'm not talking about
What is your problem? Why don't you like technology?
No, but I'm not even talking about a Spotify account. I'm just talking about a mobile phone.
Yeah.
What they just can't seem to operate.
No, I just think you hit an age, because I've noticed now there's kids these days, Keith. Kids these days can do things that I can't, and I'd be very technologically minded. Like, I'm the guy you go to.
And really, I've never gone to you before for that sort of thing.
Yes, I've fixed your phone a few times. Remember I tried to get you the free games in your phone.
You're making yourself out to be those Chinese lads that unlock your phone. Why are they always Chinese, by the way?
Because that's where the phones are made, so they know.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
Are they really? Apple made
Yeah,
in
there's
China?
Chinese factories for Apple.
Oh, kids putting it together and stuff. Yeah,
Oh,
okay. So you have to live with that on your conscience, Sean.
Thanks, Keith.
I rock a Samsung.
Bye.
No children were harmed in the making of this phone. I don't know. 53104 for 20 cent. Lots of people seem to know what this is.
Yeah, we dance.
Popular video game.
That was easy. Get there. Yeah, we buzzer. Grenade.
I think they still have it today.
Was it a mobile game?
Yeah, you can get it on mobile.
Okay, multi-platform then.
I mean, your dad once again won't be able to play it.
Right.
I don't know what it is. Honestly, maybe it's just my dad's phone. Every phone my dad gets, he somehow puts it on airplane mode all the time. I don't know about you. You know, you've been sitting on a plane and they ask you to put it on airplane mode.
Yeah.
I can never find where the bloody thing is. It's not the easiest thing to do.
Might have to turn it off.
Yeah, my dad manages to do it all the time. This flipping phone, putting it in, automatically puts it on airplane mode. No, it doesn't.
No, it's you, Dan.
You've definitely done something. What is it with over 50s? You just cannot grasp the mobile phone, or more annoyingly, they treat their mobile phone like a house phone.
Oh, yeah.
So they put their mobile phone in the kitchen and it stays in the kitchen while they're at home. You might as well just have a house phone.
There's no point. There's no...
Put it in your pocket.
Everyone in my family's like that. Not just my parents. Everyone in my family. I don't know why they're not technologically minded. My little brother and my little sister are shite with their mobile phones.
Really?
Never have them on them. Never have them on them.
Maybe something to do with your family.
Maybe. Is it just we're in the sticks and there's no need for contact or something? I don't know what it is. But like none of them
Just use
use it.
smoke signals in the sticks.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah. Did they have Wi-Fi Wi-Fi not Wi-Fi, data and sticks.
No data, very poor Wi-Fi. That's why, you know what, if I go off the grid, I've just gone back home.
What's the bloody point? Seriously, what's the point living down there? Anyway, 53104 for 20 cent. What the hell is this?
Dancer, killed them. That was easy. Get there, you wee buzzer. Grenade!
A lot of people texted in about a current film that's out at the moment. We'll see where you're going with that. Quick break, going to come back and talk to Colin and John. If you think you know what that theme tune or sound or sound effect is from a computer game, you can win yourself tickets to go along see the lead singer Faithless. He plays August the 8th in the right venue. We've got tickets to give away all this week. We'll throw in a power bank as well.
The all-new FM104 Phone Show with Keith Ward and John Barrell. Need a mattress in a hurry? Mattress Express at Des Kelly Interiors on the Long Mile Road.
FM 104.
You're very welcome back. Apologies if John isn't available for the rest of the show. He had an incident there just a second ago trying to get through a door. I don't even know how this happened.
I need people to pray for me, Keith. It happened only moments ago. It was about 21:11 on Tuesday, the 11th of July. I was going through the studio there to
just
the left, just moments ago, to change the heating in the studio.
Yeah.
And there was a draft generated by the swoop of the door. It sometimes happens. It's called a door draft.
And what was the symptoms of that occurrence?
Well, it caught me in the eye, Keith, and I wear contacts, and it dried my contact out, so my eye is real in bits now.
You should try glasses, man. That never happens to me. So apologies, John is profusely rubbing his eye.
It's really it's
like
such
he has
a weird
an STI or something.
Yeah,
can you get an STI in the eye?
An STI.
STI in the eye. I don't know. Laura, how are things, Laura?
Hi.
How are you tonight?
I'm grand. I'm just listening to the show now.
Oh, very good.
You know what? Probably could have guessed that.
Yeah, I know. I would have been. Yeah, I would have said she was listening to the show. Yeah. What are you doing tonight, Laura?
I'm just at home, not really doing much.
Just chilling.
Just chilling out, relaxing.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Tuesday's just not good for that sort of stuff.
It's a non-day, I feel. Monday's like, back to the grind, lads. Wednesday, over the hump day. Thursday, weekend's coming up. Friday, Tuesday's just...
No, it's nothing.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Nothing to look forward to whatsoever. Were you in work today, Laura?
No.
Wow.
I'm on my holidays from school.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
I'm sorry. For a second, I thought you were a teacher. I was going to go, you bitch. But no, you're a student.
Yeah.
What class are you in?
I'm in first year.
Fifth year.
Fifth year.
I don't want to point out the obvious, but next year's kind of a big year, isn't it, Laura?
Sorry?
Next year. It's kind of a big year for you.
Yeah.
They say it is a big year, right?
But it's not.
But it's not. Fifth year's the big year. Fifth year's the year you do the work.
Oh, yeah.
Sixth year's the year you mess. As I said, in my school, sixth year, sure, we just went around slapping each other with fishes. There was that never came up on an exam. It was all done in fifth year.
Someone got slapped with a fish in
With a
John's
trout.
school. Yeah. And I was talking about a school I know, wasn't my school, where they released a load of locusts around the place. Where would you buy locusts? I haven't a clue, Laura. I don't know.
Is that still a thing, Laura? Myself and Keith haven't been in secondary school in a couple of years now. Some less than others. But is there still sixth year pranks at the end of the year?
Oh, yeah, there is. Last year there was a horrible one at the end. We had the exams because the 6 years had a day off.
Right.
But everyone else had to do the exams, but the 6 years came in anyway.
Right.
And they covered one of the door handles with honey. And I went and I didn't even look. I got honey all over my hands. And it was 2 minutes before the exam started. And they were... there's one of the teachers who has loads of flags in his room and no one knows why.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say, what do you mean these lots of flags of different countries?
Flags. What else are flags for?
I don't know. He just has flags hung up.
Kind of like the United Nations of teachers.
Yeah, kind of.
Right.
But all the 6 years went in stealing the flags, and they just stole flags.
They didn't steal his flags.
And they were running around the school.
Flags.
Wow.
The flag one's a little bit lackluster, but I am a fan of the honey one.
Can I guess, Laura? Are you in an all-girls school?
No.
Okay.
No,
I thought so.
Why? Why did you think that?
I just thought banter-wise, I've heard it worse. So I kind of thought, Laura, you were in an all-girls school where girls would think, do you know what? We'll put honey on them.
Yeah. There was one though. I don't know. It might have been some of the lads, but they destroyed one of the teachers' cars and they even cracked the windscreen.
That's more like it.
Don't be encouraging that, John. Don't.
No, but you know what I mean. That's the stuff that would have went on when we were in school.
Yeah, but we're not encouraging it.
No, we're not. No. You shouldn't be messing with people's cars.
Do not go near the teachers' cars.
Leave them alone.
Yeah, everyone. I love the fact that some random teacher, Laura, in your school has loads of flags because everyone has that random teacher.
I think there's 2 of them, which is even weirder.
Wow, they're
2
multiplying.
teachers.
Flag buddies.
Yeah.
Is it maybe he's just visited all the countries and wants to put them up and brag? Maybe that's
I
what it is.
think it's something to do with he's in charge of getting the flags for the school. So what?
That's not a job.
I didn't know there was such a role.
He's
like
the internationalities of the
Yeah.
And Mr. Lyons, your job this year.
The flag buyer.
They have to hang them up outside on the flag post.
Fair enough.
For all the countries that this is
quite a strange school Laura goes to, isn't it?
Sorry?
Quite a strange school you go to, though. You know, first of all, there's a job
strange.
where there's flags and there's lots of flags outside. Okay, nice and welcoming.
Maybe he teaches economics or something.
Yeah, or geography.
Yeah.
Or geography,
Yeah.
that's a better shout.
Geography teacher.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Bottom to the
I can
bottom
see a
of
bit
the
of a
mystery.
connection. I had a teacher. Everyone has this one teacher that's a bit quirky. It has a bit of a quirky
there's
past.
way more than one.
Actually, that's being diplomatic with that, I suppose. I had a teacher, a maths teacher, so I never really saw him because I hated maths. He was like a rock climber.
Okay.
And he has loads of mad stories. And he had some story about him being in Malaysia or something. And he was just chilling on a wall, right, with a little lake in the background, having a sandwich or something like that. A crocodile came up and bit his arse.
No way.
Yeah.
He made that up to be
No,
cool.
he didn't. No,
he made that up to be cool.
No, he wasn't the cool type.
Right. Well, that's why he made it up.
No, well, everything he said was matter of fact. Like, he
Right.
didn't see any humour in it. He was just telling us about the time
got
of
bit by a
crocodile.
crocodile.
Yeah. And then he'd go, okay, now back to long division or whatever. I don't know. Long division was a bit simplistic, but you know what I
Right.
mean. Yeah, got bit in the arse by a crocodile.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had a teacher as well who had a similar story. Substitute teacher, right? Thought he was trying to win over the class. He had a weird scar in his arm.
Oh, yeah.
Said he was shot.
Oh, did he?
Said he was shot.
And was he?
Well, that's what he said. I don't think he was, like.
Well, what was the
How
story
many
to say he was
teachers
shot?
How many teachers out there do you know with gun wounds, to be fair?
Yeah, not many. Not in this
not a
country.
lot, no.
Well, what did he say? He didn't just say I was shot.
No,
what
he
was
just
the story
that's
say?
all. I can't get into details, lads. I was shot. It made us respect him in the moment, though. I'll give him that. We didn't mess with him when he was subbing the class.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, that's a good way actually to settle a car. Imagine, right, listen, lads. I won't lie. I'm a drug dealer. I can get you all shot. Now listen up. Yeah, it's a good way to
Here's 2 times 2
to assert some authority. You know what I mean, Laura? Right, Laura. What do you think it is? We played that clip there a second ago. A lot of people getting thrown off by this. They kind of think it's something else.
We dancer. Killed them. That was easy.
What do you think it is, Laura?
I think it's a bit of a trick, but I think it's Minion Rush, the game
Rush.
based on the movie Despicable Me.
Minion Rush.
Minion. Oh, is that Despicable Me? Right? Are there
Yeah,
minions
yeah.
in it?
Yeah.
They had,
That's
they
where they
had
come
a
from.
game. They had a game that
Just
I had
check.
years ago.
No, I don't. Sorry, I've Minion socks, by the way.
You do not.
I do, yeah.
The
Don't have
fella
them
who's
on.
never watched an animated movie has Minion socks.
Ah, sure, listen, do you know, Laura, I bought a t-shirt the other day, just to kind of look cool, it has Guns N' Roses on it, right?
Here.
And it has all the dates that they played in, like, Cali or something
Yeah.
over the years, right? Look very, like, in it.
Oh, you look like a mad fan, yeah?
Couldn't tell you a Guns N' Roses song. Couldn't. Never been. Don't even like them. Couldn't even to Axl. I hear there's an Axl. That's
Axl
all.
Rose, yeah.
Yeah, possibly.
Kind of one of the main guys in it, Keith.
Wouldn't be able to, anyway, have the t-shirt so it looks cool.
Right.
Laura, you think it's Minions?
Minion Rush.
Minion Rush, yeah.
It's
It
not.
ain't Minion Rush.
Oh,
What?
no.
No.
What is Minion Rush, though? I'm interested.
Oh, it's a gay. I just thought of the Minions. It's just a video game.
Right.
Where it's a mobile game where you have to race around with the minions,
that'd be the rush
collecting
part.
bananas or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Kind of like Mario
the
Kart.
average kind of thing. That's what I thought.
Well, unfortunately, it's not, Laura. It's a good guess. I can see where you're coming with.
Yeah, with the blah, 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 blah
Yeah.
noises, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that, Laura. Listen, best of luck next
Thanks.
year, and don't stress too much about it. And
Okay.
you know,
Thank you.
I mean, you can't expect to achieve too much when one of your teachers collects flags. That's
Yeah.
you know, you're not going to learn too much in that class, are you? Anyway, Laura, best of luck.
See you,
53104
Laura.
for 20 cents. You think you know what it is? Colin, how are things, Colin?
How's it going?
How are you tonight? You're live in FM104, Colin.
Not too bad.
What are you doing?
Just going back from a girls' game. Yeah, hurling.
A what?
I was playing hurling.
A Layla.
Armageddon?
What did you say?
The little fella was playing hurling.
Ah, sorry, right.
Right.
We're just on the way home.
I tell you what. That's what age is your little fella?
10.
10. That's a hardcore enough sport for a
Yeah.
10-year-old to play. Fair play to him. Like, I wouldn't.
A few knocks for you in that, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be playing that now. Too dangerous for me.
Well, me and you were softer kids, so listen,
Yeah.
Keith.
What, like, Colin, are you into hurling? Like, how did you get into it?
Just with the school. He was in the school in Finglas and it was recommended, so he just went down and joined. And
I know.
A great selection of kids there.
Because a lot of my mates used to play for Round Towers, GA in Clondalkin.
Yeah.
And man,
shout out to the boys there.
Shout out to the lads, the boyos, you know yourself. And
that was a bit low,
later. Sorry.
Come on, the boys. You messed that up. But
I was always really impressed at how violent the sport could be, and they'd be battering each other, and then they'd shake hands afterwards. That's a hardcore sport.
It has to be one of the most violent sports. I'm not trying to put you off, Colin. I know you've got a 10-year-old involved.
Skillful sport as well.
But as far as danger goes,
yeah.
Oh man, fair play to him.
Yeah, fair play to you. As a dad, Colin, putting your child into a death match. That's what you're doing. No, but fair play to you. It's a skillful enough sport. Yeah. Listen, stick with us for a second, Colin. Glenn, how are you, Glenn?
How's it going?
How are you, man? You're live in FM104. What's up tonight, Glenn?
Not much. Just dropping a little fella off at home, off to the mothers.
All right. I was going to say, where was? So he was in your house today, was he?
He was. That was my day off today.
Do you spoil him, Glenn?
Oh, I do.
You have to.
You have everything.
Yeah, leave the mother with the her stuff. Do you know what I mean?
She'll make him eat the vegetables. You give him the burgers. You know what I mean?
Oh, you get him quads and all that crack.
Quads? Did you say quads? Quad Brilliant. Yeah. Glenn, can you be my dad?
No problem.
Yeah, my dad never bought me a quad.
Oh, my dad never got me a quad either.
What's the most expensive thing your dad's ever bought you, John?
Oh God, not a lot, Keith. Oh. Nothing.
Your dad has never bought you anything?
No, his favourite kid was always my little brother Jamie.
Yeah, but surely he bought you something before Jamie came along.
Nah, none at all. No. He disowned me because when I was born, Glenn, I've said this on air before, so I don't mind talking about it again. When I was born, my dad being a soldier was delighted. Gonna have a son, gonna get him a load of Action Man stuff. It's gonna be great, absolutely deadly. So my ma, to piss him off, got me a Barbie doll.
Wow.
And
explains a lot, doesn't it, Ken?
It does indeed, isn't it? And I love that doll.
Yeah.
Had it for years.
What was his name? Do you remember?
Barbie. It was a Barbie doll, yeah.
Are all Barbies called Barbie?
Yeah.
Oh, right, sorry.
It's their thing, Keith, yeah?
No, but I thought when kids get them, they rename them something.
No, I kept it as Barbie.
Glenn, what's the most expensive thing your dad or parent has got you when you were a kid?
Jeez, I'd say probably a push bike. That was or an N64.
Nintendo 64 were pricey, yeah.
Do you know what the genius of N64? Although they didn't probably like it because they didn't sell much. Is you got an N64, get yourself GoldenEye, and then you're set. That's all you need for the N64. Yeah. I had an N64, right? I didn't buy any more games. Just got GoldenEye, maybe Mario Kart. That was it.
No, GoldenEye was where it was at.
That's why they went out of business after a while. N64s.
Yeah, that's it. That's the reason.
Yeah.
They made one brilliant game, and no one else wanted to buy any other game after that. You know, short-sighted. My dad bought me some. Well, Mum and Dad bought me some decks before.
Oh, yeah. Right. I felt like this is a loaded question. Keith, once upon a time, Glenn wanted to be a DJ. Yeah. Not a radio presenter, but an actual DJ.
Ready. Scooter! That sort of thing. So yeah, lots of sessions, John, in my room on my own.
Do you still have them?
They're probably still in the attic, yeah.
Oh, you have to bring them in.
The records now, they play records.
Oh, right. You have to bring them in.
They play vinyl, yeah.
You have to bring them in. Give us a live mix.
I'd be afraid Al Gibbs would overhear me and think it's dreadful.
He might tap you to sub in.
Yeah, that could be it. Yeah, you never know. Imagine, Glenn, one night I could be presenting Freaks on Friday. How would that go? You know,
anything's possible. Yeah.
So you just got to dream it.
Freaks on Friday, new track coming out. Did he still do that? Did you ever hear Glenn on the other stations? You know, the less legit stations.
Right, careful now.
They'll often go, shout out to the lads in the Nissan Micra in Tala.
Yeah.
I'm someone in the Nissan Micra. Tala, you know.
Has to be done. Do the same, yeah.
Right, stick with us, Glenn. Finally, we'll go over to John. John's been waiting a while. John, hi, John.
Hey, how are you, mate? You alright?
Good. Sorry for keeping you waiting, John. We had pressing business there to talk about.
Yeah, to talk about Keith's decks.
Yeah. Decks, not pecs, just in case.
No one will ever make that mistake,
Some women
man.
get confused.
No, they do not.
John, what are you doing tonight?
Just bringing my girlfriend back to her off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What did you have her out for, John, if you don't mind me asking?
What did you let her out for?
Yeah.
Walking the dogs all night.
Okay.
Oh, don't say that about her. God.
Technically,
give you a slap.
No, but technically, John was dogging. Is that what you're doing?
That's it, yeah.
Yeah. So you're just dropping her back.
Down low.
Dropping her back. Would you see her? How often would you see the missus, John?
I don't know, about 2 or 3 times a week.
Right.
Oh, that's good going.
Do you see her on the weekends? See her on the weekends?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You kind of have to, don't you, John?
Yeah, you have to.
Kind of compulsory, yeah.
Do you make up excuses sometimes to see the lads? Do you know what I mean? Oh, it's so-and-so's birthday this weekend. You know yourself.
No, because we don't know.
Yeah, no, that's it's well used now. It's kind of running out of...
12 years, John. and I'm not judging, John. I am not judging.
No.
There could be a perfectly good reason. You don't live together, and you've been together for 12 years.
No, sorry, I didn't say 12 years. I said it's been used. The excuse has been used a lot of times.
Right.
Sorry, right.
So how long have you been together, John?
4 years.
4 years, still long enough. So what age are you, John?
22.
22,
No.
that's why.
Yeah,
that's
you
why
wouldn't be
we're
moving in at that age. You'd be mental to get away from the
I know,
money
yeah.
for that. Right, John, we'll play this again. You can guess what it is. What is this?
Killed them. That was easy. Get there, you wee bastard. Grenade!
What?
It's worms.
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 Yeah.
There's a joke in there somewhere. I'm not gonna go there though. Colin, what do you think it is, Colin?
It is. It's the original worm.
The
The original.
John, or Colin, the connoisseur of worms.
The OG.
Explain to people who don't know, Colin, what worms is.
Well, I'll show how old I am now. It came on after a game called Scorched Earth.
Right.
Scorched Earth was basically you fire missiles at each other and kill each other. And worms, well, they have little worms that would carry the guns around and
Oh, so it was a spin-off.
dynamite and
It was a spin-off, did
they've
you
got
know?
bombs and everyone.
It was kind of a game that like 4 of your mates could play at the same time, and like no one
Yeah.
took it too seriously. You know what I
You
mean?
use your arrow keys and the space button. Arrow keys to move sideways, up and down to aim, and space to fire.
Was this on the PC?
Yep.
Oh,
a long time ago.
Who the hell? I mean, you're the first person I met. You actually played video games on the PC.
On the PC, yeah.
I had a VIC 20.
Did you had a what?
There you go.
You had a what, 20?
It was before the Commodore 64.
What's it called?
A VIC 20.
Oh, Vic.
I looked at John as well. I was like, what the hell? What the hell is a Dick 20? That's what I thought he said, you know.
Right.
I need to clean out these headphones.
Yeah, that
Sorry,
was
I
dodgy
said
there,
that.
wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't remember that though. The Commodore 64, kind of. Yeah.
No,
Atari,
I know the
that's
name, but I don't know the console. Can't say
Playing
what.
a PC game, that's hardcore, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Finally, Glenn, what do you think it is?
It's definitely worms, yeah.
Defo Worms. Yeah.
Defo Worms.
I did this on the
Right, anyway.
PlayStation though.
I used to play on the PC back in the day
here.
when it was Sega Mega Drives, all that crack, you know.
Hang on,
old is this
Hang on,
game?
Glenn. You used to play it back in the day. No offense, Glenn. You're 22.
Oh no, I'm 20. I'm 28. Yeah.
Who's 22?
John was 22.
John, 22.
Yeah, I'm 22.
All right, John. Did you play this back in the day?
Yeah, I have it on PC and I played it on PlayStation as well.
Everyone has this
here.
on PC. I didn't even think people did that. Right.
The only game I ever played on PC. No, sorry, 2 games.
Sims.
Three games.
Sims.
No, not Sims. Minesweeper.
Oh, yeah.
Solitaire. And the best of the bunch,
Go on.
Age of Empires.
Oh yeah, actually, I'll give you that one.
Brilliant game.
I only play Glenn. Minesweeper's the type of game that you just play when your internet connection's down. Do you know what I mean? Just going, no one knows even how to play it. Seriously.
No, it's just
It's like Hearts. Isn't that game Hearts? You know, the card game. Haven't a clue. Hadn't a fiddler.
Hadn't a notion.
Right, Glenn, John and Colin all saying Worms. Actually, Colin's saying Worms original. Right, lads. John, what is it? Do you want to reveal what it is?
It is, of course, the classic game Worms.
The classic PC game Worms.
game.
Oh, such a classic from back in the day, back in John's childhood 4 years ago. Right, lads, I'll tell you what, we're going to give you some F104 goodie bags. We're throwing a power bank as well, and you're in with a 1 and 3 shot of
Not
coming
bad
along
odds.
to see the lead singer of Fateless, Maxi Jazz, who plays in the right venue on August the 8th. We have tickets to
That'd
give
be a
away
good night.
all this week, so we'll
can't
pick someone
get
out
no
with the prefer.
sleep.
What?
Singing some Fateless songs.
I don't think it goes, I can't get no sleep. Actually, on the it doesn't. On the DJ dance theme, I think I said this before, I thought I'd mix properly, right? So I got the acoustic version. No, sorry, the words only, without the music in the background,
Right.
of the real Slim Shady.
Oh,
Eminem.
no, Keith.
And I mixed it with Fateless Insomnia. And it sounded bloody cool.
I
I thought
bet
it was
it did.
brilliant. But the thing was, it wasn't proper mixing, really, was it?
You just overlaid them.
Yeah. I mean,
Keith.
when one has the lyrics and one has the instrumental, you just put
Can
it
you
together.
can you please, if you can dig them out, can you please
Will it bring
them
it in?
Yeah, we'll have a mix off.
We'll do it. We'll do a special. We'll do a special. Bring sexy back. Yeah. Now that's back in the day. It was like 13 or something. 53104 for 20 cent. 6797 FM104. More goodie bags to give away at the end of the show. And also, if we can, I'm almost certain there will be a couple of sound bites from the Conor McGregor Floyd Mayweather press conference, which is on tonight. So at the end of the show, we'll play you the best bits of it, because it's going to be, I already know, Conor's already said something outrageous already.
Yeah.
Seriously. Anyway, coming up next, we're going to be talking to the Irish Sun about a very tragic case. It was brought to us only last night. A lot of people texted in, basically asking us on updates about the stabbing of a toddler. Last night, people asked us for information. We didn't have enough information to go with it at the time, but we'll be talking to Mark May from the Irish Sun in a couple of minutes' time, giving us the update, and of course a very tragic story. It's coming up next.
The all-new FM104 Phone Show preview with the Irish Sun. Hear all about it.
Mark May from the Irish Sun is on the line about a very tragic story. Mark, what you got for us?
Hi, how are you? Yeah, I suppose the big story is the one everyone's speaking about. It's the tragic case of the death of the young 3-year-old boy. His name today, Omar Omran. Was his name. He was obviously 3.5 years old, or about 3 years old, and he was stabbed to death in his own home. And it's obviously one of these cases that really kind of shook the country, I suppose, when you hear cases like this.
We were actually on air last night when details started emerging. So I know this kind of happened at 7 p.m. Last night, but when we were on air, a lot of listeners were sending in texts asking us about it, and we didn't have a clue at the time. But it just shows you, news of this tragic event travelled very fast, and it seems like it really has, grabbed people's attention. Such I suppose is the tragic nature of it. I mean, a 3-year-old kid.
Yeah, indeed, and I suppose with social media and just online stories, and there was by kind of 9, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, it was kind of everywhere last night. So it's a little Omar was discovered at the Riverside apartment block in Cambridge about 7 p.m. And as I say, kind of everyone got wind of it there maybe 9, 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
So Gardaí, the young lad's Omar's mother, her name, she's a medical professional, Maha Adim, her name. She's still in St. James's Hospital, so she herself suffering from knife wounds. So she's originally from the Middle East. I think she's been here about 7 years. So Omar, I think, was born here in Ireland. So Gardaí, obviously, they're still keeping an open mind on the case. And they've a kind of one major line of inquiry, I suppose, that they're looking at the moment. Yeah,
I know details are still a bit sketchy, and I know guards are kind of keeping their cards close to their chest. But what tipped Gardaí off then that they knew that there was possibly a body inside this apartment?
Well, there was a number of 999 calls made actually by Omar's mother herself, Maha Adim. She actually made a number of calls, and I think the line kept on cutting out and stuff. And then the call come through again, so that kind of tipped off the Gardaí and emergency service, and they had to I think they beat down the door to get in. And then obviously when they get in, there's kind of that shocking scene. They found young Omar on the couch, suffering from a number of stab wounds. And then I think in the bedroom they found Maha herself. She had a number of knife wounds herself.
Is there any idea, Mark, of where this child's father is?
No, well, Gardaí, as of now anyway, they're still actually trying to trace Omar's father. They can't seem to be able to get a hold of him. Obviously, the family are originally from Iraq, we believe, and Omar's father, his name is Khaled Omran, and Gardaí they're struggling to kind of track him down. There was initial kind of reports, I think, last night that he may have found out, but I think some family members have been informed and others haven't, so it seems to be kind of difficult tracking everyone down in this case. Okay, so they're not treating Mr. Omran as a suspect, as I said. It just looks like this it could be an extremely tragic case. But as I say, Gardaí, they are keeping an open mind on it. So do Gardaí even know if he's in Ireland? They haven't been able to find him at the moment. Okay. So he could be abroad. I'm not quite sure. so they don't. They're struggling to get them at all. So maybe it could be anywhere, you know.
Yeah. As I said, obviously details are quite sketchy, but I mean, are Gardaí even offering an idea of who is actually responsible for this?
No, well, I suppose, as I say, they are keeping their cards close to their chest. So they have an open mind, and, you know, they'll say they're not treating Mr. Omran as a suspect. And the kind of one kind of general line of inquiry that they're following for the moment, that, you know, could be an extremely kind of tragic case, one that they're kind of struggling to kind of get their heads around at the moment, you know. Do we know what condition the mother is actually in? Is she in a stable condition? She is a serious condition in hospital. She's in St. James's Hospital. Yeah. Obviously suffering from the knife wounds, but I do believe she will survive, as far as I know. I think she has injuries in her chest and her side. Okay. So they'll Gardaí are obviously looking to get in and speak to her and kind of try and find out exactly kind of what happened, you know, and cause this obviously devastating tragedy. That story is in tomorrow's edition of the Irish Sun. Of course, you can get it online at thesun.ie. Mark May, thanks for that. Cheers.
The all-new FM104 Phone Show preview with the Irish Sun. Hear all about it.
Mark May there with a very sad story, and as I said, it was only last night that people started texting us in about it, looking for more info. About 9 o'clock last night, it happened at 7, and obviously you would have heard there I had myself and Mark had to be quite deliberate with that interview, because obviously there are some aspects of this case that are yet to be revealed, and I suppose Gardaí are keeping their cards close to their chest, which we'll understand, but I'm sure we'll know more in the coming days. 53104 for 20 cent, 6797 F104. Have a listen to this. We popped it up in the all new F104 Phone Show Facebook page. It's something that I suppose I've never thought of before, something I've never heard happening before at a kid's birthday party, but have a listen. This comes in from Rachel, who dropped us a private message on the all new F104 Phone Show Facebook page. Hi Keith, can your listeners tell me what they do in this situation? My son's 9th birthday party is this Saturday. He's invited 14 of his friends from school. One of his friends is a Muslim boy called Ashan. I've met him once or twice and he's a lovely, polite boy, so of course I've absolutely no problem with this. Yesterday his mum rang me to inquire would there be halal food on offer at the party. I'm not even sure exactly what that contains, but obviously I do not have halal food on offer at a kid's birthday party. She then told me that her son would not be attending unless there was halal food at it. I think this is outrageous. If it were a child that was allergic to nuts or celiac, I would have no problem accommodating them, but she either sends her child to the party and accepts that there will be normal food on offer, or she can get lost. It's the child I feel sorry for who will miss out. Surely I'm not expected to start researching what goes into halal food just for one child, said Rachel earlier on. Should Rachel have accommodated this Muslim boy? I mean, obviously halal food, when you talk about strict Muslim faith, Islam obviously requires food to be prepared in a certain way, and it's called halal. I don't think that much research has to be put into it, but obviously Rachel's not maybe au fait with it, which is completely understandable. It's not Rachel who's Muslim. It's not Rachel who's, I suppose, expected to know all this. In fairness, she just wants to host a birthday party for her 9-year-old son. But should Rachel have accommodated this Muslim child and, I don't know, bought some halal food? Maybe think Rachel's being completely unreasonable. Surely halal food is widely available in most shops these days in 2017. Surely she just has to pop in, maybe ask someone where the halal section is and she can stock up. Or maybe think this child should be encouraged to integrate into society more by eating what other non-Muslim kids eat. So maybe it should be a thing where maybe this child is actually encouraged to go along to the party and maybe try something that isn't halal, knowing full well that all the other kids at this birthday party will be eating everything else that goes with birthday parties. Maybe this kid should be encouraged by its mother to go along anyway, and who knows, maybe try something that isn't halal, or maybe think that's just against their beliefs. 53104 for 20 cent, 6797 F104. If your kid was having a birthday party, as Rachel's is, this Saturday, and one of the kids going along to it was Muslim, and the mother of that Muslim kid said, unless there's halal food on offer, he will not be attending. What do you do? Do you accommodate that Muslim kid? I mean, look, it's only a 9-year-old kid. Or do you just say, well, tough shit, knowing full well that child is probably going to miss out on a birthday party? Sounds a bit harsh. 53104 for 20 cent. Quick break. Back after this.
The all-new FM104 Phone Show with Keith Ward. Need a mattress in a hurry? Mattress Express at Des Kelly Interiors on the Long Mile Road.
FM 104.
Hey, very welcome back. Philip said on 5304, Keith, we need to be more accepting of different cultures and religions. I think this mother should have accommodated this Muslim child. If you just joined us, we're talking about Rachel sent us in a private message on Facebook. Her kid's 9th birthday party is this Saturday. 14 kids are invited, and one of the kids is invited is a little boy called Ashan, who is Muslim, and basically Ashan's mother rang up Rachel and said, my child will not be going unless there is halal food on offer. Rachel thinks this is outrageous, that she should accommodate this child when it comes to halal, and she, in fairness to Rachel, she says she doesn't even know much about halal, but should she have accommodated this little kid, knowing full well that if she doesn't, this kid doesn't get to go to the birthday party? 53104 for 20 cent, 6797 F104. Maybe think Rachel's being unreasonable. I mean, surely, as I said, halal food, I'm sure you can widely get in most supermarkets, but maybe you think she shouldn't. Maybe you think she shouldn't go out of her way just to accommodate one kid. I mean, it's a birthday party after all, and look, we all know, kids pig out at birthday parties, and that's just the way it is. So maybe Rachel shouldn't have to go out of her way to accommodate this one child. 6797 F104 is the number, or 53104 for 20 cent. Sarah, how are things, Sarah?
Hi, they're good, thanks.
Good stuff. What do you think about this? I mean, I'm already looking at the text in front of me here. A lot of people are saying that this mother kind of should really have gone the extra mile.
Yeah, I think she should. I mean, she doesn't have to now, but she is hosting the party. She decided to have a party for a little boy, and I mean, if she's deciding, I think it'd be nice for her to, accommodate. And it's only one child that she has to accommodate as well. It's not like there's 3 or 4 children with, allergies or specific dietary things. It's only one, and it'd be really easy to actually do as well, because you could just buy it in a supermarket or whatever. And
yeah.
As
I said, I mean, in 2017 now, I'm sure there's lots of sections in supermarkets where they sell this stuff.
Yeah, oh God, definitely. Yeah, there's loads, even for different allergies and stuff. There's loads, or alternative products. I'm sure if her little boy had was going to another party and he had an allergy like dairy or nut allergy, she'd if the other person hosting the party would have something for her little boy. So it just kind of makes sense. She doesn't have to, but I think it would be nice of her to do,
Yeah, I don't know, maybe she's just getting her back up because the mother had said, listen, he's not attending unless this is done. Do you know what I mean? Maybe
if that was said in a kind of
an ultimatum.
Yeah, if it was said in a kind of argumentative way, then I can see why she'd feel like that and kind of be well, maybe I don't want to know. But, if it was said in a nice enough way and just kind of asked politely, then I don't see any reason not to kind of... But, yeah.
I mean, at the same time, I'm kind of thinking, well, it's a birthday party, lots of different types of food on offer, and sure, and as I said, kids like to pig out at birthday parties, and so they should, I suppose. Should the mother of Ashan just not accept this and go, listen, if you're going to be sending him along to a birthday party, you can't be calling the shots?
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
I mean, kids are kids.
So she wouldn't have to have anything at all for him, really?
Not necessarily, but just accept that, he may eat something that isn't halal.
Oh, by accident? You wouldn't know. Yeah. See, there'd be a lot of stuff like crisps and things like that wouldn't necessarily matter. It's kind of, I think it's just the meat and then some delis and things. So I'm sure the child is used to it as well.
Yeah.
What he can and can't have, and it's just their religion. So I suppose.
Yeah. So basically you're saying that Rachel should suck it up and provide. I mean, look, she goes as far as saying that, look, she feels sorry for the kid. She goes, because it's a kid that's going to miss out. Well, then I kind of feel well, do you feel so sorry for the kid? Well, then, supply with some halal.
It's not the child's fault either, the way it's purely the mother there then. It's not the child's fault. So I think she should, if she's nice enough, I'm sure she wouldn't mind doing that. But if I can see how if the other mother got argumentative when she kind of said that.
Yeah.
She wouldn't necessarily want to then, but I still would for the child himself, because he'd feel left out then, not getting to go to the birthday party.
Yeah.
So.
All right, stick with us, Sarah. 53104 for 20 cent. Keith, halal food, not where they don't, is where they don't eat meat. Rachel could try offering something like veggie rolls. Not sure if that would suit. Rachel could ask his mum. Well, it's not necessarily that they don't eat meat. It's just how that meat was prepared. But obviously there are other stuff that they don't eat, like pork and that sort of thing. 6797 F104. Should Rachel accommodate this Muslim child, knowing full well that the child isn't going to be allowed to attend if Rachel doesn't? I suppose suppose. I mean, look, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation 20 years ago, maybe even 10 years ago. You know, it's not something you would have thought of, that in the multicultural that we live in Ireland, that you'd have to, you know, have halal food on the 9th birthday party. But look, this is the world we live in now, I suppose. Rima, you're live in F104. Everything's Rima.
Man, what's the story? How you doing?
Good, man. What do you want to say? You think that the mother shouldn't be expected to cater?
No, for me, it's not a case of whether she caters or not. For me, it's a case of, and I use America as an example. Before this whole 9/11 business, you know, you had Jews, Hindus, Muslims, vegetarians, vegans. Kids used to go to parties, and parents used to ask the parents that are hosting the party if they can accommodate them. And sometimes the parents wouldn't even ask because they were considerate, and they would just send their kid with lunch. So ultimately, I think that this isn't about catering. Like, for example, he had a party, and his vegetarian kid came over to the house, and he basically put in fish fingers for him, especially for him. So this is about the parent who's hosting being more considered. Yeah. It's about the Muslim parent being a little bit more aware and sending the kid with lunch. I think it's just about people being more considerate. But because Muslims are in the spotlight right now, you know, it's just a kind of free-for-all. Because even going on the website, 104, now fair play to 104 for kind of wiping out all the, you know, social comments. But it gives people rise to prejudice all over again. Over a non-issue. Can you imagine my Muslim friend now sending a message to 104, my vegetarian, this kid is vegetarian, came to the house party. Now, the exact same issue, but he's vegetarian. I can guarantee it wouldn't get any airtime. But because Muslims
it might, but it might still. But you're right. You're right. It might not kind of. A lot of people would just go, sure, look, tell them to suck it up and go along. But obviously, when you're talking about religions and cultures, I suppose people have to be a bit more respectful.
Even Hindu, if he was Hindu or Jewish, but see, this is what I'm trying to say to you. Like, what I'm trying to say is, in the media, right, in America, you could have any kind of issue, social issue, whatever issue. Yeah. But if you swap a Muslim with a Jew or a Hindu, then it won't get the airtime. But because Muslim, it's like the Irish back in the day, and this is what I want to say to all the listeners there. Like, I just want you to know, like, at the end of the day, Muslims are your neighbours, they're your brothers, they're your sisters, they're your nephews. I was in college, and the thing is, even like the college professor who was, like, you know what I mean, against Islam or whatever, own daughter was a Muslim. You know what I mean? So the thing is, they're people just like everybody else. I mean, sure, accommodate, not accommodate, grand. I mean, like I said, there's other people, like, I'm sure there's Hindus that are practicing their religion, there's Jews practicing. And to be honest with you, there actually is a rational reason why halal meat is like, it's like kosher meat. Why does that even exist? Does anybody even bother to ask what the hell the purpose of it is? It just halal meat is just basically cleaner meat. Like.
Yeah, no, it's how the animal is killed is from what I understand.
It drains the blood because the blood is cancerous. Yeah, and it's been proven when you drain the blood of an animal after you kill it, it's less the meat is less cancerous. So it's healthier meat, like, you know what I mean? So people are going up in arms, you know, well, they should try unhealthy meat, you know what I mean? It's just like, look, at the end of the day, this Muslim mother, if she, you know, gave the woman an ultimatum, then she's an idiot. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what it sounds like to me. I know you're suggesting that the mother should give the kid his own lunch and go along to the birthday party, but then at the same time, I'd nearly feel sorry for the child in that circumstance. This child looks around and sees all the kids, you know, getting stuck in the sausage rolls and everything else around them, and the kid kind of has his own personal lunchbox. I'd be afraid that the kid would feel left out.
I think there's consideration on both sides. I think the Muslim mother should be, you know, should have the manners not to actually ask. You know what I mean? Maybe suggest it, and in a real kind of diplomatic kind of way, not in an ultimatum kind of way. Yeah. And I think the other mother, like, for the sake of the child, you know, maybe accommodate them. It's not a big deal. It's about humanity, like, you know what I mean? It's about, you know, these are your neighbours, your family, or whatever. Yeah. But, you know, like I said to you, if this was about anybody else, the conversation wouldn't even be bothered to be entertained. If this was a Jewish kid that was looking for kosher meat, you know what I mean? It just...
Well, very true. I suppose I would assume there's probably more Muslims in Ireland than there are Jewish people, to be fair. So maybe that's why it's popped up.
I mean, let's be realistic here. How many Muslims are there in the whole of Ireland? And how many Hindus, Jews, vegetarians, vegans are there? I'm sure there's a lot more than there is Muslims.
Well, I'd say there's certainly a lot more vegetarians maybe than there is Muslims, but I honestly don't know about Hindus or Jews for that matter. Stick with us, Rima. 53104 for 20 cents. They hear Rima saying, look, the mother maybe shouldn't be expected to cater for, but maybe an idea is for the mother, the Muslim mother, to give her kid a lunchbox or bring food along with them. I kind of just think that, well, I feel sorry for the kid then, because it's like almost like the kid's isolated. He's sitting in the corner with his little lunchbox while all the rest of his friends are getting stuck into whatever's on offer. 6797F104 2017. Cop on. If a child was veggie or celiac, she would have if she invites a Muslim child, she would respect their beliefs. The meat is widely available. Centrist bar, shame on her. She should be teaching her kids about multicultural society, says someone on 5304. Yeah, maybe she should, but maybe at the same time she just wants to have her kid's 9th birthday party and doesn't see it as an opportunity to teach their kids about anything. You know what I mean? Kind of going, she should teach their kids about multicultural society, and to be fair, she just wants to organise her kid's 9th birthday party without as less hassle as possible. I don't think everything has to be used as an opportunity to teach her kids something. 6797F104. Teresa, hiya Teresa.
Hi, how are you?
Good, you're live in F104. What do you want to say?
I just think that this is getting out of hand. I think it's about 2 9-year-olds.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily mean that the child has to sit there with a lunchbox. If everybody has a paper plate and the mother of the birthday child, let's say, makes a concentrated effort of, let's say, putting everybody's food on a plate, but she's contacted the child's mother and she's put the halal food on a plate for him, and they all just sit around. That child won't really be aware that it's eating anything really different to the other children in any big way, because it's a party and they're going to be excited about what's going on. The mother then could always invite this child's mother along, just to make sure that he doesn't get he doesn't get his hands on something. Yeah, but not to make a big deal of the child eating the halal food. We want him to integrate. We want him to feel like he's part of the party. That's the whole idea. So by making a big deal, I do definitely think the mother of the Muslim child should provide the food, because then she's 100% sure that he's eating the right food. The mother of the birthday child could easily invite her. She doesn't know her very well. This is an opportunity for her to get to know her, and for other mums that are there at the party.
I can see that, but at the same time, I'm kind of seeing it from Rachel, who's the mother, has a birthday party. I'm kind of seeing it from her perspective. She probably doesn't want the hassle. She just wants to have, her kid's 9th birthday party, and probably doesn't have to want to go then invite this mother to kind of chaperone this child to make sure the child isn't eating any non-halal food. You know what I mean? It's a lot of effort for just a 9th. You know what I mean? Already.
We all invite children to parties that are the little bit awkward child, and we all kind of try and deal with it. And we've been doing it from day one that birthday parties have been held for kids. So it's the choice then is obviously to let to give out the food to all of the children on paper plates, and like you'd give a party bag, and let them all sit around and eat. The child's not going to really be aware that he's eating anything totally different from all the other children, and you just want him to feel that he's part of the party, and you want the other child to feel that his friend is part of the party as well. So Teresa, I don't think this would be an issue if this was a kid who was celiac or allergic to nuts, or you name it, had some allergy. I think Rachel wouldn't even be writing into it. She'd just get on with it and supply whatever she needed to supply. Maybe it's similar to what Rima was pointing out there. It's this kind of Islamophobia. I'm not going to say Rachel has Islamophobia, but it is this kind of, for some reason, when it comes to Islam, people get a little bit, tetchy. Maybe it's not tetchiness. Maybe it's like awkward or unsure, or we very few people have actually dealt, because the Muslim community is so closed, that very few of us have gone out to dinner with a Muslim or known exactly what a Muslim needs. So there's an element of nervousness about this, and I don't think she's been tetchy or Islamophobia on anybody's behalf, but I do think there's a nervousness on Rachel's side that she's not at all sure what to do, and it's becoming a bigger issue than it needs to be. If Rachel just kind of looked at the whole thing, it's all about the kids, it's not about
But maybe, like, to be fair to say, Rachel, maybe the onus is really on Shan, the Muslim boy's mother, because, like, do you know what I mean? It's Rachel having the birthday party for her son. it's her party. Maybe it's up to the mother of the Muslim boy to meet her halfway. I mean, like, I'm sure it's not the only party that little Shan is going to be invited to in the future.
And I'm sure it gets better with time. But this is why I'm saying let the mother of Shan, young Shan or whatever, prepare the food for him, put it into a container, give it to the mum, and say, when you're dishing out the food to all the rest of the kids, will you do the same with his?
Okay.
But just kind of try and make it that he doesn't feel that he's the odd one out, that he's, as you or somebody said, sitting in a corner eating out of a plastic container. It's all about inclusiveness, and that's what we want as parents, is to make all of our children feel included.
Okay, some of the texts coming in on 5314 already. Thank you, Teresa. Halal certification on our food is, listen to this. Rima, this be up your street now. This is what you were kind of saying. Halal certification on our food is an Islamic tax that funds terrorist organisations through the Muslim Brotherhood. The halal method of slaughter is disgustingly cruel to the animal. Muslims are here to change every aspect of our culture to please them. There you go.
Do you know what's hilarious, right? If I'm on a plane and I ask for kosher meat, now I'm a Muslim,
okay,
and I eat kosher meat, which is Jewish meat, right?
Yeah.
Now, again, to emphasise this point, unless kosher meat is also funding terrorism, the reality of it is halal/kosher meat, right? I'm just going to educate the people out there that have this, satanic ideology of halal meat, right? The reality of it is, it's in the Bible, right? How to slaughter the animal and all this. The purpose of halal and kosher meat is to drain the animal of its blood, because the blood is cancerous and it causes bad effects for people. That's why it's cleaner meat. The second thing is, halal meat, unlike kosher meat, you're cutting the main artery in the animal's neck, which basically means you're killing it straight away. Now, the adrenaline that's in the body of the animal is still pumping, so the legs are still going, but the animal's dead. There's no more messages going to the brain.
So what you're saying is it's not cruel?
Basically, because once you've cut that main artery to the brain, that's it, you've killed it. Now, you could literally behead an animal and the legs are still kicking. That doesn't mean it's feeling pain, it's the adrenaline within the body. So it looks pretty bad, and I've seen it, but ultimately, once you've cut that main artery... Now, with the kosher meat, you're only cutting a small slit in the throat, which means the animal's still alive, but the blood is being drained, which means it's clean for us. Halal meat is you're cutting all the way across, which means you're cutting the main artery to the brain, killing the animal straight away, and making the meat cleaner for human beings. So it has nothing to do with funding terrorism. It has nothing to do with, summoning Satan. It's just about those two things.
All right, good to know. Apologies to people who were kind of tucking into maybe a spice bag at the moment. We're talking about blood and all, but sure, look, it's an education. 53104 for 20 cent. Quick break, going to come back and talk to Stephen, Serena and David. Serena says the mother shouldn't cater for the child, that she shouldn't have to cater for the child. I mean, again, that's what I was saying. Maybe the onus is on this little Muslim boy, Ashan, his mother. Maybe the onus is on his mother to supply either food or, I don't know, maybe compromise. Go, listen, I'm going to send my child along. Can you make sure that he doesn't eat halal food? Instead of creating an ultimatum. I mean, let's be honest. His child, or her child, Ashan, has been invited as a guest to this house, and she's now starting to dictate terms. Maybe you can see where Rachel's coming with this. 6797 F104. Should Rachel have to accommodate this Muslim child and provide halal food at her kid's 9th birthday party? Stephen, you're live in F104. Hey, Stephen.
Hello, how are you?
Very good. What do you want to say, Stephen?
No, look, I mean, the 12th birthday party, by virtue of the invitation, is a sign of friendship. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, for a mother to dictate or say, have this kind of field or that kind of field, that's wrong. Like, two kids are catered right, unless there's a medical...
like an allergy or something,
For the child.
So you don't think that this mother, Rachel, who wrote into us, that she should accommodate, go out of her way to buy halal food for this kid?
No, we don't. I mean, and that's not being Islamophobic or all these new words that's being bandied about, or, whether you're Jewish, Islamic, or whatever faith you are, Catholic, it doesn't really bother me, But, like, to dictate to a person or to, special requirements, like, if I said to somebody, okay, the Muslim chap next door to me invites my grandkids in, and I said to him, will you have a few pork chops? Well, do you think it's going to happen now? Would you have... It wouldn't.
No, it wouldn't.
I mean, there's people talking there about multiculturalism and all that type of stuff. Like, I mean, I live around Muslims and I've walked with them in England and that, and they're genuinely nice people. They have their beliefs, they have their things, but a child's party is a child's party. And if a certain field has to be there.
So you,
that's wrong.
So to get it straight, Stephen, you think a child's party is a child's party, and religion shouldn't be brought into it?
No, it shouldn't. I mean, as I said at the start, like the invitation alone is putting out the hand of friendship. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's like, so. I mean, if the mother of the Muslim child, you know, she either accepts the invitation or she doesn't. But at the end of the day, like, it's the child, and people are talking about integration and all that. Like, there's a clear picture of it there, you know. One child extends, or one family extends an invitation to the other, and the other says, well, unless he has this type of food, halal food, or Jewish food, or whatever it's like, German food, German sausage, whatever, you know. It's wrong. So, like, I think people are being a bit hypocritical when they say, you know, it's, you know, integrate people and all this. And, like, when you're actually putting the hand of friendship out, to invite them to a child's party, 2 9-year-olds.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about kids here.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure one kid is not going to know what the other his diet is because of his religion.
All right, I want to bring David in. Stick with us, Stephen. 53104 for 20 cents. What do you think about what Stephen said there? David, you're live in FM104. Hey, David.
How are you, Keith, again? Listen, just a few thoughts on the subject. To start with, number one, my advice to Rachel would be, it's not a big problem to cater to a Muslim child who eats halal food. All she's got to tell the woman is, "I'll make sure your child doesn't eat any pork product that's in on the birthday menu, because Muslims don't eat pork." And for instance, if there's going to be any other beef product, for instance, she can buy the bit of beef and buy it halal and give everybody halal.
But I get that. But Stephen, you're saying that why should she? Why should Rachel do it? It's a kid's birthday.
Well, I tell you why. Because we do it for a child who's vegetarian. We do it for a child who's celiac. If somebody was lactose intolerant and the mother said to the invitation, "Listen, my child can't eat dairy," no. There'd be no problem with that. Listen, it's mannerly and it's welcoming, and it's not a big... Look, what do kids eat at parties? Loads of sweets and crap anyway, right? Some parents have parties where they try and put a bit of food in, be it whatever it is. It's all you got to do is make sure that the Muslim child doesn't break the dietary rules of his religion. It's not hard. And it's welcoming and it's mannerly. It's not a big problem.
Right, Stephen, it's not a big problem.
Well, welcoming, first of all, is the invitation that was given to the child. And as you were talking about celiac, they're medical conditions. Like, you're actually bringing a religious thing into a child's birthday party, which shouldn't happen. And whatever about, I don't buy into that, it's mannerly, it's this and it's that. You know, if a child is lactose intolerant, well and good, they're not going to drink a pint of milk around like that, are they?
But Stephen, if anybody is coming to the birthday party, surely we're going to take care of all the children. I mean, for instance, Stephen, just to tell you, I have a child, right, who has birthday parties, right? She's vegetarian, right? But when we have brought her friends to our home for the birthday party, we've had the pepperoni pizza, we've cooked the cocktail sausages. I mean, and my child is vegetarian. It's just being mannerly, that's all.
No, look, it's not. It's religious being brought into it. That's what it is. And it creates a divide. Whether you like it or not, like, there's nothing, like, as I said, to invite somebody to a birthday party, that's extending the hand of friendship to someone. Do you know what I mean?
So, religion should be brought into it.
It's unreasonable for the parents of that child to say, in our religion, we don't eat pork, and if we eat beef, it's got to be killed halal style. It's not a big problem. Why are you making it into a big problem?
I'm not making it into a big problem.
Words like integration and multiculturalism.
Integration and multiculturalism. Well, then, I'll reverse that. So my child, I get an invitation to a Muslim's birthday party, a Muslim child's birthday party, and I say to the mother or the father, please don't give my child any halal or any whatever you want to call it. I'd just rather he have a couple of pork chops. What do you think the reply would be there?
That wouldn't be tolerated, probably, David, would it?
Exactly. My point in question. It wouldn't be tolerated. And it wouldn't be tolerated on religious grounds.
If your child is invited to a Muslim birthday party, pork is not going to be on the menu, right? There's lots of ways of satisfying children without insisting that there's pork there, and you're not going to get pork at a Muslim party. I'm just saying that if one child comes who's Muslim, take care of the child. it's mannerly, it's friendship.
But then on
no big deal.
Using your logic, though, halal isn't on the menu at this birthday party. But you're asking Rachel to accommodate this child. But what Stephen said there is, say, a non-Muslim child would not be accommodated at a Muslim birthday party, is what Stephen's saying.
Well, hold on. Why would you say that automatically? For instance, if there is a Muslim
I didn't. Stephen did. I didn't.
And he invited a Catholic child, what's the problem going to be for the Catholic child? The Catholic child can eat Muslim meat, halal meat. There's no bloody problem. The meat is the same meat. It's just how it's killed. That's all. I mean, for instance, a burger made from halal mince is going to taste the exact same as a burger that's made from mince.
Yeah, no, it probably will. But you know damn right why it's halal, because it's a religious belief. It's a religious belief how the animal's killed.
Shouldn't we respect the religious belief of our neighbours? It's not too much trouble, for God's sake.
Shouldn't they respect ours?
They do. Lots of Muslim people live in Ireland. They live in our communities. They live in this country. Maybe there's 60 or 70,000 Muslims. They're not putting any rules or demands on us. They're just living like us, bringing up their children, working, doing the normal stuff of life. What's the problem? Is this really coming down to, we don't like the fucking Muslims, they're this and they're that, and then the demands? That's not what it's about. Muslim people in Ireland aren't making demands off anybody about anything. I can understand they don't eat pork.
Yeah.
And they want to eat halal beef, right? And halal lamb. It's not a big issue, and why should it become a big issue? Let's get real and come down and be neighbourly.
Okay, stick with us, David. I want to bring Serena in. Serena, what's the big deal, David's saying?
Yeah, I agree with everything that Stephen said. I don't think the mother should cater for him. And
Shouldn't.
as I said, the only child that I would cater for at a party would be a child that had some kind of allergy. But for them, I wouldn't. Where does it end? I mean, there's some kids that are really fussy eaters. And actually my daughter's like that, and I wouldn't dream to start ringing up saying, oh, she doesn't eat this, she doesn't eat that, can you do this? That's not real life. I mean, the kid is living in Ireland. He's not going to get halal everywhere he goes. That's just the way it is. If you go to McDonald's, anywhere. So I just think that the Muslim mother needs to get with where she's living. And as I said in one of my comments on Facebook, you do as the Romans do. If she wants to eat halal normally, but it's one day of the year, and it's just a party, and I don't or else I think if the mother wants him to eat halal, she should provide it herself. Because as Stephen was saying there, if my child was invited to a Muslim birthday party, they're not going to put on pork chops for us, that way.
No, well, you wouldn't expect them to, no.
But I'm just, and I just think that it's...
How come,
very
Serena?
rude of the mother to ring up and ask that. As it was a thing of friendship. It was nice that her son got invited to the party. She's living in a non-Muslim country, and you can't start making demands. If she's living in her own country, that's fine, but I think that you have to adapt a little bit when you're living outside.
Interesting though, Serena, that you said that if just say it was your kid's birthday party, you wouldn't have a problem catering for a celiac child or a child who has a nut allergy. So why the problem with a Muslim child?
Because that's a health thing that's out of everybody's control, and if a child eats nuts or something like that, it could be fatal. They could end up in hospital. But if her son accidentally eats something that's not non-halal, nothing's going to happen to him. And I know what you mean. The child isn't going to be put in danger by eating something that's not halal. It is a religious belief, and they're entitled to religious beliefs and things like that. But at the same time, I don't feel that the mother, Rachel, should have to run around to accommodate him for a religious belief, because they're living. This is the thing that I don't like about a lot of immigrants that come here. You have to adapt a little bit.
If my child invited a Muslim friend to her birthday, right, I would welcome that child, make sure it's okay, and it's not going to cost me money. It's not going to cost me any effort to be a little bit mannerly and friendly and welcoming to the Muslim child in the group, as I would be to a celiac, as I would be to another vegetarian or somebody lactose intolerant. We're making a big issue about nothing. What? Because it's Muslim.
Then I think the whole party becomes a farce. There's some kids that are very fussy eaters. Some kids don't eat this, some kids don't eat that, and then where does it end? Are you going to start accommodating every single? Some kids don't like sweets, or they don't like just a particular kind of sweet, and some kids don't like that kind of chocolate. And where does it end? Then you're having a party, you put on a spread, people come, but they eat what they want, they don't eat what they want. I don't feel that you should start having to tiptoe around accommodating everybody's individual child.
for religion. I mean, as I said, the only exception to that would be allergies or health issues or things like that. But just because he wants halal, and where does that end then? I just think it's rudeness.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
If just say you were having a birthday party for your child, right? And just pretend for a moment I'm a Muslim, right? And my child is the friend of your child, and you invite my Muslim child to your birthday party, and I just rang you up and said, listen, would you just do me a favour at the birthday party? Would you make sure my child doesn't eat pork? That's all. What else are they going to eat? Sweets and crap and fruit. And I mean, if I just said, would you please make sure my child doesn't eat pork? Would that be a problem to you?
Well, I mean, in this case, the kid is 9. I'm sure he knows himself he's not to eat pork. If it was a younger child that didn't understand, I'd keep an eye out.
You would. It wouldn't be a problem to you if it was a younger child. If the mother said, please just make sure he doesn't eat pork. Because remember, at a birthday party, there's a variety of foods and sweets and treats on the table. Let's be welcoming to the Muslim child.
I don't think that the mother should have to. I think if the Muslim mother wants to provide the stuff herself, but I just feel that if you're living in a non-Muslim country, you can't expect everyone to tiptoe around your beliefs.
So as you were saying, do as the Romans do.
Yeah, I fully believe in that, and I think if they want to eat halal at home or whatever, but I mean, personally, I think the mother should make a big deal about it if it's just for a party. Like just one day that he might eat something that's non-halal.
So I mean, if you were Rachel, if you were this mother, are you basically just saying, well, tough, I'm not bothering to go out and get halal food?
I would, because as I said, like, where does it end then? There's plenty of kids who are fussy eaters and they don't like this, they don't like that. And I wouldn't, I said I have a daughter like that who's like that herself, wouldn't eat a lot of things. I wouldn't dream of ringing up if she was invited to a party or something like that and saying, oh, my child this, can you provide this? I just wouldn't. Maybe if I'd give a few things myself that I know she'd eat, I'd hand it into the party, but I would never, ever, if someone invited me somewhere, like, start making demands about what kind of food is served. I think it's just bad manners.
Well, have a listen to this text from Debbie in Swords. Debbie says, what about if my son is a Catholic and I don't want him to eat meat at a party on a Friday, i.e. only fish? What would happen? Would my Catholic son be accommodated for? I doubt it, Debbie says in 5304. Well, that's the thing, isn't it, Serena? You've said it yourself. If this an Irish non-Muslim child was to be invited to a Muslim boy's birthday party, he'd probably just have to suck it up and eat whatever's on show. Yeah, and I think that's fair enough if he was in their house, because that's the way they do things in their house. And if I invite someone to my house for a party, that's the way I do things in my house. And I just have an attitude like it or lump it, and I just feel that it just gets out of hand then if you start accommodating every single person. I mean, there's some people that have a party and maybe they have a recovering alcoholic at the party and I'm laying on the drinks and that alcoholic doesn't like to see that. What do I do then? Not serve drinks because it might offend that person who's an alcoholic? I mean, it just goes on, and I think that eventually you have to put your foot down about it. So you're having a party in your house, you're putting on the food that you want. Yeah. If they want to come, they come. If they don't, they don't. As in, look, I invited you to the party. It's an open offer. If you don't feel you can come for whatever reason, that's your problem. Maggie says, what is going on? A birthday party, just don't have meat at the party. There's no problem. Well, yeah, I suppose, but maybe Maggie, who's texted that in, maybe the rest of the children, why should they be denied meat or eat what they want just because this one Muslim child is coming to the party? That seems a bit unfair as well to the other kids. 6797F104. Stick with us, Serena. Salma, how are things, Salma?
Yes. Hi. I'm here actually.
Okay.
I just wanted to say, look, I am here in Ireland for last 30 years and I have reared 2 children, and myself and both of my children and my husband, we are all Muslims. Yeah. And we never had any problem at all. And we went to, I'm a doctor, so I have to go and mix with people and attend all sorts of parties and Christmas parties. Sure. And my children always attended every single birthday party of their friends. Your child could be Muslim, but, it could be best friend of a Christian boy or girl. And
where, Salma, then where your children accommodated for? Did they serve halal?
Always.
Yeah.
But you know what? Halal, you guys are making a big fuss about it. Because, if you don't have halal children, what my personal, observation is when children come to a birthday party, they don't concentrate on food. They actually concentrate on play and having fun. And
very true, yeah.
Most of the food is left behind.
Yeah, a lot of it's not eaten. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Hungry. They never came hungry. They always ate something. Like there are crisps, chips, chocolates.
Okay, but Salma, what do you make of Serena? Serena's still there. Serena was kind of basically making the point, well, you know, where does it end? Why should this mother, Rachel, have to go out of her way to accommodate Ashan, this Muslim boy?
And could you imagine that, Rachel's little boy could be missing his best friend?
Yeah, I suppose, but...
Won't you imagine that? You know, for Sean, you just have to give him some veggies, some crisps, and some vegetarian pizza, and that's it.
Salma, would you have a problem if, say, your child was at a birthday party and they did eat meat that wasn't halal? Would that be a big issue, Salma?
Look, for me, I'm not... I just, for me, the big thing is pork.
Okay.
But the rest of the meat, I allow them.
Right, so pork, as long as your child doesn't eat pork, then you don't have a big problem. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have a big problem.
So what happens if your child, I know you're talking about a couple of years ago, probably now, Salma, but if your child went along to a party and there was pork, on offer, what do you do? Do you tell the parent to go, listen, can you make sure my child doesn't eat pork?
No, I don't tell anybody. Actually, the minority children, they are themselves very educated, and they don't go and try all, pork. They know
already.
Exactly. They actually know that what they should be eating and what they should not be eating, especially at 9 years of age.
I mean, we're getting lots of texts in, and it might not surprise you, get lots of texts in from people going, oh, here we go again, Muslims dictating what we should do. And you would have heard Serena there saying we should do what the Romans do, as in, like, look, if you're in Ireland, you should, you should go along with what we eat. What do you say to that?
Yeah, but you know what? You can eat. We do eat a lot of stuff, but, pork is just the main thing. This is our religious belief. And as we are not the only ones. Jews, you won't be able to force a Jew to eat a pork, would you?
Would I eat pork?
A Jew.
Oh, a Jew. Sorry, I said you. Yeah. I suppose they wouldn't. No, and in fairness, Salma, it probably wouldn't be as big of an issue for some reason. Yeah. I think when people hear Muslims, I mean, Rima said it earlier, when people hear the word Muslim or Islam, maybe people tend to get a bit weird about it for some reason.
Yeah, and number two, what do you call to these all vegetarians and vegans? My daughter is a vegan.
Yeah.
What do you do to them then?
Well, Serena, I'll ask Serena, would you cater for a vegetarian or a vegan?
Yeah.
No, to be honest, I wouldn't go out of my way. I mean, I would if I had time and I knew I'd get a few things. But for me, to be honest, I wouldn't go out of my way to cater. The only thing that I would go out of my way to cater for would be an allergy or some medical issue.
Yeah.
For all the other things, I wouldn't.
Can I say to you that, look, in a party you don't only put one stuff. In a party, I present multiple, options there. Nobody rings me to say that, but I do make sure that in a party, if I'm throwing a party, I would put few things which, one or the other person can eat. Like, if there is a vegetarian or vegan or a nut allergy person, they could eat something at least in that party and don't go home hungry.
Well, to be honest, it'd be easy enough to cater for a vegetarian because obviously the whole spread is not going to be all meat. I mean, there's a lot of other things besides meat, so in that way it'd be easy enough. But if they were asking me in the case of the halal meat, they were asking me to go out and source halal meat only for a party just for one child, I wouldn't do it.
I'm sure it's easy enough to get, Serena. I'm sure most shops these days have a halal
for me, it's
section.
the point of principle in a way. I just feel like, why should I? Because I really believe in that whole thing of do as the Romans do, and I feel like you need to.
You feel you shouldn't have to.
I feel like you should have to, and I actually think it was really bad manners for the mother to ring up and start saying that.
No, but Serena, you're going to, maybe that child is best friend of your child, and then you're going to miss a best friend. I don't want that. If somebody will ring me and say, give me, provide something for my child, I would go, mile for the mile and provide that.
Yeah, I see your point there, because maybe if Rachel wants to, you put the child's friendship over.
Yeah,
the whole issue.
Sacrifice my child's, friend on a little piece of, meat or something. No, I would bring something for that particular child because I want my best friend to attend the party.
Just as long as
I think that is the purpose.
Yeah.
No.
Just as long as that you make sure that they're not eating pork, but as you said, that the child would already be educated enough not to eat pork. The child would know not to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you make of what Serena was saying, Stephen was saying a few minutes ago, that if this was, say, a non-Muslim child going to a birthday party, I mean, Salma, would you have pork on offer?
Necessarily, Keith, do you have to necessarily eat pork?
Say again?
Do you have to have pork in your food?
No, of course you don't. But no, but
so what is the point then? You can come to my party. I throw.
Well, would you have?
Parties.
Correct me, Salma. Correct me if I'm wrong. Would you have any meat that comes from a pig?
No, I wouldn't, because that's not necessary for you guys to eat pork.
No, it isn't. But no, absolutely not. But what would be quite popular? What would be quite popular at kids' birthday parties will be sausage rolls or little sausages.
But I will bring some sausages. They might not be pork sausages. I have thrown a lot of parties for children and adults, and I had sausages, but not necessarily pork sausages. There are a lot more sausages available.
But what my point being, though, you wouldn't have. No, I know it's it's a fair point. It's not like the child has to eat pork, but you wouldn't have pork on display for one child. You wouldn't accommodate that child.
No, look,
right.
What you are not taking me correctly, because you know what I'm saying, that that Muslim child could have been catered without serving a halal meat. The same way I will cater all the children without serving the pork.
Okay. Listen, I have to move. Thank you for that, Salma. 53104 for 27. What do you make about what Salma said there? Basically saying, look, for all the people who are saying, well, look, would an Irish or non-Muslim child be accommodated at a party? Salma's saying, well, that's not a requirement. It's not a requirement for a child to eat pork at a Muslim party, but it is a requirement for a Muslim child to eat halal at a birthday party, assuming if they want to eat meat, obviously. 6797 FM104 is the number. Have a listen to some of these texts coming in. There is obviously, anytime you do this, and maybe Reema from the top of this topic was maybe spot on. Anytime Islam is brought up and we're discussing that, people get a bit touchy about it, get a little bit kind of nearly paranoid. Someone says, these people make me laugh. It's not long ago that they wanted the crib removed from the hospital at Christmas. If you don't like it, go off home. When in Rome and all that. Sick of these people dictating stuff. Give a Muslim an inch and they expect a mile. First they want halal at a kid's party. Next they will want girls covered up for the boy and segregated into separate rooms. If that is not paranoia, I don't know what is. Seriously, it's just a child being asked, a child's mother asking to not serve halal at a birthday party. There's no one's saying anything but segregation and burqas, and they're like, this is any other religion, if we would just talk about it, people can talk rationally about it. For some reason, talk about Islam, talk about the Muslim faith, people start jumping the gun big time. Suddenly we've gone from talking about halal meat to kids wearing burqas at kids' birthday parties. Let me see, I would have no issue making sure a Muslim child did not eat pork, but I would not use halal meat as I feel it's ethically wrong to animals. So someone on 53104. Let me see. No, you're not killing it straight away. The poor animal is in pain till it's gone. It's the cruelest way to kill an animal. And why can't the mother of the little boy just say he doesn't eat ordinary meat instead of ordering her son to have what she wants? It's a child's party, not a mosque. When will, again, more paranoid stuff, when will the Muslim invaders stop demanding we change our culture to please them? Well, they're not really. I suppose they're just asking for some sections of their beliefs to be respected. Now, you can debate all day whether Rachel, who was the mother that sent us in, should have to go out of her way to respect those beliefs. Maybe that's the thing for a different day. I mean, I get where Rachel's coming from, Her kid comes to her and goes, Mom, can I have a 9th birthday party? She goes, of course you can, chicken. How many friends can I invite? 14 or 15. So he does it. Now suddenly Rachel has to deal with a phone call from the mother of Ashan. Suddenly then she has to go out and get halal food specifically for one child. She feels so aggrieved that she rings the FM104 phone show or sends a private message, and this is being discussed. She probably just wants to have her kid's birthday party without the least hassle as possible. But I work in an abattoir. Halal is when the animal is slaughtered without shooting it first. The throat is cut straight and the animal is bled out. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for people who didn't know that, there you go, there's an education. But I thought it was widely known what it is. It's an invite, not a summons. Someone says it's a child's birthday party, not a state banquet. Tell this mother to let tell this mother to let him bring his own food. if that's what she would prefer him to eat. 53104 for 20 cent. There you go. Hang on, we have Connor on the line. Connor, hiya.
How's it going? How are you?
Good, you're live in FM104. Connor, I already know what you want to say, so go ahead. You've obviously a problem with
as you know, I'm a vegan.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think it's absolutely deplorable. The fact is, we do not have killing instinct in the first place, right? Meat and dairy products are down to tradition and habit and convenience. Hence, you go to the shop, it's in a packet. Yeah. You don't see the before, you know. It's absolutely sick. Halal is just tradition and convenience. It's culture. That's a load of crap. Do you know what I mean?
What's a load of crap?
Crap. It's culture. Culture is habit.
Well, religion. It's not just culture. It's religion as well, Connor.
Well, religion is nonsense. Okay, religion is nonsense. It's a form of cult. Okay. That's all that is.
In your opinion, it is. Yeah. But
that's my opinion. It's a cult. People are brainwashed, you know, when they're young, and it runs in the family through generations. You know what I mean? And there's no humane way to kill animals. They have as much right to life as us.
Yeah, well, I mean, in fairness, I was going to say...
You know what's so sad? It's the fact that more people are concerned about culture and their flag for their country than billions of animals slaughtered every year.
Well, I suppose people are concerned about eating as well, Connor.
I mean, if you're more concerned about eating, why not be vegan? Because the poison is in meat and dairy products.
Yeah, I mean, like, Connor, what would you...
You don't get poison in plants.
Okay, well, Connor, what would you have then, say, at a kid's birthday party? What would you suggest if a vegan was to go? What could you serve a vegan child?
Get McCartney sausages that are vegan. McCartney sausage rolls. Fries are another vegan brand. There's all sorts of things. Look at the dairy-free section in your shop. Alpro yogurts, Alpro drinks, all sorts of things.
Yeah, I know, but...
that's animal secretion in dairy products.
If you were to go... I know, but if you were to go out specifically just to get stuff for a vegan child, it's a lot of effort,
meat and dairy products, because it's cruel. It's cruel to animals.
Do you think it's lazy?
It's cruel for children.
Do you think it's lazy of parents to not maybe look into what they feed their children when it comes to meat?
Well, at the end of the day, animals suffer, those who eat meat and take the animal secretions, which you call dairy products. All these terms used... And the fact of the matter is, when you eat meat, it's poison. It's rotting flesh in your stomach for weeks. But and the dairy is a name put to animal secretion, for God's sake.
But Connor, it tastes good, though.
Really? Animal secretions and dead flesh in your stomach?
Yeah, have you ever had a steak? It tastes really good.
I haven't had it for 20-odd years.
Can you remember when you did have it? It tasted good, though, didn't it?
Well, if you cooked it and put seasoning on flesh, it will.
Sure, yeah. Well, obviously, I'm talking about cooking.
No one eats... to eat meat.
Well, we're certainly not designed to eat raw meat, no. But when it's cooked, we can digest it.
It's still rotting flesh when you digest it.
Yeah, but when it's cooked, we can digest it, hence why we cook it. I mean, that's been going on for thousands of years. I know, but it tastes good, though, Connor. Would you not try it?
Taste. So it's down to taste, and the taste is not from animal flesh. It's what you've added.
I don't know. I don't know.
So why eat meat then? Why not just be vegan?
I don't know. I've had a couple of steaks before, and I haven't put much seasoning on it, and it has tasted good. It's nice and tender. You know, when you get a nice tender one.
Are responsible for most diseases. You know.
Really, like cancer and that sort of thing.
All sorts, yeah.
Yeah. No, certainly.
Disease, this, that, and the other, yeah.
Well, I mean, certainly they don't recommend you eat much red meat. You're only supposed to eat that the odd time, because
Well, I've never heard of anyone going into hospital because they ate plants.
No, that's... Well,
so let's be honest about this. We're born with the assumption and told that this, that, and the other is good for you and fine for you. It's all lies. We were all lied when we were growing up.
Connor, have you never heard of a vegan that's maybe lacking in nutrition?
Well, I was going to hear that bold story you heard in Italy. You're going to tell me that, about that baby?
Never heard of that in Italy. No, but I mean...
Well, every other day, people who eat meat and dairy are suffering every day, for God's sake, and their kids and everything. So why attack one story about a vegan in Italy?
Well, you attacked it. I didn't. But
it was in the news.
Do you take protein supplements?
I don't need supplements. I've been vegan for nearly 10 years now.
So you don't...
vegetarian before that.
So you don't take...
Best thing I ever done.
So you don't take any kind of, I'm getting that kind of like top-ups.
and everything.
You don't take any top-ups, if you know what I mean.
I don't need supplements or top-ups or any shit like that.
Do some vegans take top-ups, though?
Certain, maybe. Depends on the individual.
Okay.
Individuals, we're all different, right?
Yeah, but that would suggest to me that there's something lacking in their diet.
No, if it was, well then why wouldn't I be taking it? So there's nothing,
Okay. No.
Nothing lacking in anything being a vegan.
All right, but I mean, look, we've had this out before, Connor. But
sports people are vegan. The Williams sisters are vegan. Djokovic is vegan.
Yeah.
bodybuilders, sports artists, philosophers are vegan.
They're not the good ones, they aren't. Not bodybuilders, not sprinters.
Einstein was vegan.
Say again?
Einstein was vegan.
Yeah, he was an athlete. He wasn't an athlete though, was he? Not that we know of.
He was Einstein, wasn't he? So that's
he was.
You know,
but I'm sure even Einstein would. But Connor, I'm sure. Connor.
I mean, do you want to go on and on all of this?
Oh, well, if you let me speak, maybe I could go on. I'm sure even Einstein will admit, though, the reason why...
Tyson is a vegan. There's another one for you.
There you go. Can't. I'm sure Einstein would admit, Connor, that the reason why humans are so smart as they are now is because they got protein in them.
Are you serious?
Thousands of years ago.
We're smart. For what? Killing our planet.
You don't think humans are intelligent? No.
You think we're intelligent for killing our planet the way we are, poisoning it?
So you're denying humans are intelligent. You're denying humans are intelligent.
We're the worst species on Earth. Look at us. We're a joke. That's what we are. If we weren't on this planet, it would be a healthy planet without us.
I probably agree with you. Yeah. Probably agree with you. Doesn't mean we're not intelligent, though.
Because they've done nothing wrong.
Okay. I'll leave it with this, though, Connor. I saw a documentary before on Usain Bolt, obviously fastest man alive, sprinter. He was asked the question, are there any vegan sprinters around? And he says, yes, there are. And he said,
was one, yeah.
Yeah, and he asked, can you name any? This is obviously currently I'm talking about. And he said, no, I can't, because they're all outside the top, 20 or 30 runners in the world, because you need that protein, you need meat for that explosive power.
That's bullshit. The protein in meat is from plants.
Well, that's what Usain Bolt said. That's what Usain Bolt said.
Meat to give it protein.
Right. So anyway, not a big fan of meat, Connor. You wouldn't just try a meat one time, no?
I'm a vegan for years. Why would I eat animal flesh?
It's good. It tastes good, though.
Well, that's if you cook it and add seasoning, which is from plants.
Yeah. Do you not cook plants sometimes, though?
I'm a vegan, yeah.
Yeah. So you cook plants, then, in that case?
I eat raw as well. Why? You're being smart about it now, are you?
No, would you ever put seasoning on plants?
I don't put much seasoning on anything.
Right.
Doesn't need it.
He's a slippery character, Connor. Listen, I have to move on. Thank you for that, Connor. I'm not surprised. Connor's views have been on before. Militant vegan, I'd say. But maybe most vegans are militant when you put it that way. Look, he makes some good points. I'm not going to deny. And he's probably right as well that a lot of diseases and sicknesses out there are probably to do with stuff that it probably is in our meat. But as I said, we've been eating meat for thousands of years, and in my belief, and it's been scientifically proven, eating meat has got us where we are today, and it's allowed our brain to develop and become intelligent creatures, even though Connor denies it, and that's from the protein that we get from meat. So to me, it seems a little bit, counterproductive to suddenly cut meat out of our diet when, in my opinion, meat has got us where we are today. But anyway, that is the Science Corner for the phone show. 53104 for 20 cent, or 6797F for 104. Someone says, tell Connor to eat a pack of Monster Munch and shut up. He might enjoy it. Tell that vegan to go to the White Moose Cafe. He'd really enjoy it, says Rory. I wonder what sort of reception you get, though. Meat is iron. Pregnant women and people with iron deficiency need meat. We have canine in our mouth for meat, but only herbivores, not carnivores or omnivores like pigs. Basically what they're saying is we have canine teeth for a very good reason, and it's to do with meat. There you go. Maybe could have come on and debate that with Connor, but anyway, I got to move on. We got sent this very emotional, I suppose, and powerful email in from Siobhan. Have a listen to this. It's something that we probably haven't talked about very often on the phone show, and I suppose it's the right to die, or the right to end your own life. Hi Keith, I'd like to raise an issue. I'm currently sitting in a hospice with my husband. He's in the final stages of motor neurons disease, and I hate to say it, and it hurts to say it, but I want him to die. I know he feels the same. It's advanced to the stage where it's an ordeal for him to communicate, but I know he feels the same. Assisted suicide should be legal in this country. It should be a basic human right to end your own life on your terms. This disease has taken away so much from us. How dare the state refuse the right to have one last moment of control over your own body? My husband can't even tell me he loves me anymore. His body won't allow him to utter the words. He's gone beyond being able to travel, so I can't bring him to a Swiss clinic. Even if he could travel, why should he have to? Why can't he be allowed to die on his own soil, surrounded by those he loves and who love him back? You can legally do things that kill you, such as drink or smoke, but if you ask to die comfortably and to the best of your own drum, the beat of your own drum, you're denied. It just does not make sense, says Siobhan, who sent that into us earlier on. Obviously, quite a powerful mail that we got sent when we read it out in the office. We're gobsmacked, I suppose, how bluntly and I suppose how in depth Siobhan paints the picture of her husband going through the last stages of motor neurons. So here's the question tonight. Based on what you just heard Siobhan say, and based on some of the cases you've heard in the past, should assisted suicide be legal in Ireland, like it is in Switzerland and a couple of other countries? Should it be allowed? Or is all life precious? Maybe you think that, look, we should embrace the life we have and that, you shouldn't have the right to end it. But just imagine what Siobhan's husband is going through and still hold that opinion. It takes a lot to still hold that opinion. Is it unfair to ask doctors maybe to take on the role of ending someone's life? Would that be an unfair responsibility to give a doctor to, administer what you have to administer when you're talking about euthanasia? Or is this an acceptable and precise way to finally end someone's suffering? Should assisted suicide be legal in Ireland? You heard what Siobhan says. Her husband's in the last stages of motor neurons. And she says you can legally do things that will kill you in this country, such as drink or smoke. But if you ask to die comfortably and to the beat of your own drum, you're denied. It doesn't make sense, says Siobhan. Quick break, back after this. You're very welcome back. A lot of comments in already on this topic. We're asking, should assisted suicide be legal in Ireland? It's on the back of the mail that we were sent in by Siobhan, who is currently watching her husband in a hospice in the last stages of his life and in the final stages of motor neurons disease. Roisin says, absolutely, my beautiful dad is in his last days and it's torture to watch and wait. People should be allowed to go with dignity. Jade says, yes, it should be brought in, especially for people with motor neurons disease. Before their speech goes, they should be allowed to choose when to die. Sean says everyone should have the right to their own choice. Why shouldn't we be allowed to have a say? Sharon says, I watched my 26-year-old sister die of motor neurons disease, and I have to say the 2 years as the illness progressed and took her ability to walk and the use of her hands was tough enough. But when she reached the final stages, it was soul destroying to watch what she had to go through. This illness is indescribable. It's so harsh. I believe that when someone gets to a certain point, then they should have the option. It's inhumane to let someone suffer to the bitter end. Why do we put down animals? They don't be left to suffer on, says Sharon. 53104 for 20 centre. Give us a buzz on 6797 FM104. Should assisted suicide be legal in Ireland? Emmanuel, you're live on FM104. Hey, Emmanuel.
Hey, Keith.
You would have heard the story that I just read out there from someone's sister, 26 years of age, and says that it's actually inhumane to allow someone to die like that in pain. Do you think assisted suicide should be legal in Ireland?
No, I don't. It's a very serious topic, and I've been trying to think deeply about this in the past hours, and I'd still say absolutely against the law. It should never be allowed.
Why, Emmanuel?
Because they're talking about it being inhumane to let a person suffer. Well, it's my understanding that human life is a very special thing on earth. It's a holy thing, separate from all other life, and it should be treated with the respect it deserves.
Sure, I see where you're coming from, but surely treating someone and their life with the respect they deserve, would that not be maybe, letting them die, by their own choice?
You're trying to put us on par with a dog. A dog gets put down, right? From my perspective, now I'm familiar with the scripture, right? I'm not going to get too holy and start bashing on about it, but I mean, look, you have to endure life to the bitter end. You have to endure it with the patience of the saints. That's what the book says, and it's good advice. Because,
and again, and you're right, we won't get into religion, but that's all well and good. It's saying it in the Bible, but I suppose when you're watching, like Siobhan who sent this mail in, when you're watching your husband in the last stages of motor neuron disease and the pain that they're going through, it's one thing reading it in the Bible, it's another thing in practice though, isn't it?
I'd say it's a terrible, serious thing for the person who's suffering it, but the life is special, and we're here on earth to experience everything that life has to throw at us, both the good and the bad. To cut a person's life off early and prevent them from experience experiencing the creation as it's meant to be I think it's wrong. It's just wrong.
I want to go to Simone in a second, but what would you make then, Emmanuel, of the massive responsibility and I suppose maybe the guilt that maybe a doctor would have carrying that out? Maybe you think it's not fair even that a doctor should have to carry that out.
I'm sure there's a good mix there. There's a bunch of devils who'll jump at the chance to take a person's life, and there's another person who'll be distraught at the idea of making somebody die.
So would you consider, when we're talking about Switzerland and the clinics there, Dignitas, you think that they're devils? You wouldn't think that they're actually just compassionate?
They're completely against the creation the way it's meant to be. They're completely against.
But you wouldn't think that they're doing a compassionate act. You think they're devils?
I think it's the cruelest thing you could do to a person who's experiencing death. Right, we're on the earth to experience life in all its colours and then pass on. Okay. If I had an aggressive lung cancer, a terminal lung cancer, I'd want to be awake to the very last moment until death came and took me by force. I wouldn't opt to go out quietly. Don't go quietly into the night, said what was his name, Dylan Thomas, right?
Okay.
And there's a thing I just want to mention that I seen in the news recently. I think it's in Sweden. They're pushing to make it legal for a mentally ill person to be euthanized. So if I go into my psychiatrist and say I'm feeling suicidal, I want to die, my psychiatrist will turn me around and say, "Oh, really? Let me accommodate you."
Yeah, you think that's wrong?
It's ridiculous. Yeah. It's really ridiculous.
Stick with us for a second, Emmanuel. 6797F104. Emmanuel thinks it's wrong. Thinks that doctors that carry that out are devils, not compassionate. They're devils. Simone, hi, Simone.
Hi, how are you?
Good, you're live in the all-new FM104 Phone Show. What do you want to say, Simone?
I actually do agree with that lady. I think people should have the option. People end up with diseases and things that are not fair. If a doctor can make a decision to turn off a patient who is in a comatose state, before that person gets into the comatose state, why should they not have the option?
Well, usually it's the family that decide that. It's not the doctors. I suppose I see what you're saying. It's probably the doctor that carries out the act, but it is the family that decide that the machine should be switched off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's so much communication between families nowadays that, a person, I know myself, my family do know that I don't want to suffer at all. Okay. If the option was here in Ireland, yes, absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, it's not. And therefore, I have actually spoken to my family. I haven't done a huge amount of research into it, but I would like the option for them to be able to let me go when I want to go.
Yeah, on your terms, so to speak.
Absolutely, yeah. Yes, absolutely.
I mean, Emmanuel, that sounds like a illogical or irrational thing to think that, you want to control how you die and how you suffer, Emmanuel.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, it's a very difficult thing you'd be expecting people to endure. I haven't experienced excruciating agony for any prolonged period of time, so I'm speaking out of ignorance from that perspective, but I can only say from what I understand about the creation that the human life is holy, and there's certain interventions that are acceptable, like pain relief and everything. I have faith in science as well, as much as I do in God in heaven, and I'd say at some point in the future there's going to be breakthroughs in science where pain relief is going to be the most effective thing, that there won't be a single thing that illness can throw at us that we can't deal with.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible that might happen, but pain relief only, goes so far. It doesn't reverse, I suppose, what you're going through. And maybe Simone, you're saying that you would like the
So what are the people afraid of? Are you afraid?
I wouldn't
people
want
trying
to be left in a completely a comatose state where I have no control over any of my functions, be it mentally or physically. And, I'm just a body lying on a slab, basically, waiting for the inevitable to happen.
Now, Keith,
so, therefore,
can I
not have the option that I can actually end my life?
Go on,
Can I say something there?
Yeah.
Right now, it's a very dark and personal subject to me. That I lost my twin to suicide. Now, we caught him in limbo. He was he hung himself, and he was caught at a certain point where he was in limbo. So he was lying in ICU in a vegetative state, in a coma, they were keeping him alive deliberately.
Yeah.
Oh, Emmanuel, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Well, no, the point that I'm trying to make is that it was passed on to the family. The decision was to be made whether to keep him alive as a vegetable or
turn off the machine.
Go, to switch the machine off and let him go. And we had to decide. It was the most difficult thing we ever had to put up with.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just thinking about it now. But like if I could look back on it, and if I had my choice, if I was more informed, a little bit more wiser, I would have kept him alive as much as I could.
Even though, Emmanuel, you said yourself your brother was in a vegetative state, he had no quality of life, you would have just let your brother live on. Would that not be would that not be a selfish decision on your part?
I'd be holding on to the hope that he'd some glimmer of life would come back. You know, that's what I'd say. Looking back on it, at the time we made the decision to let him go because it's what he wanted.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing, though, isn't it, Emmanuel? It's what they want. Like, Simone said herself, Simone, that's what you would want, and it's your decision. You think you should be allowed to make that decision?
Well, yeah, that is my personal decision. I would like to be able to make that decision myself and not have a doctor or somebody else make it for me. I would like to actually to be able to write that down somewhere and say, or tell, as I've done, all my family members, this is what I want. Should I get to the stage where I cannot physically verbalise these instructions to you.
All right, I want to bring Debbie in. Debbie, you're live in FM104. Hey, Debbie.
Hey.
What do you want to say, Debbie? I mean, look, obviously it's a very serious topic. It's very, traumatic topic in some ways, but I suppose it affects us all. We're all going to die at some stage. Do you think that assisted suicide should be legal in Ireland?
Yeah, it should be. It should be given a choice, because I work as a healthcare assistant.
Yeah.
And just watching, to seeing people that are in pain, in agony, and seeing their loved ones watching, it is frustrating. It's hard.
Yeah.
And if they're turning around and just saying, look, just let me go, I want to die, why should we prolong it? Why should we drag it out for them? Because in the end, they eventually give up in the end themselves. They stop eating, they stop drinking, they refuse their medication. That's their way of saying, look, I want to go.
That's them that's them letting go themselves.
That's them if, when their wishes aren't being held. And it is hard. It's not an easy situation for anybody to be in. But if they're turning around and they're saying that they want to go because they can't take any more pain, that their body's giving up, then they should be able to have that chance to do it.
I mean, Emmanuel was saying that when his brother was in a vegetative state, Emmanuel, you said in hindsight now you wouldn't have turned that machine off.
No, I would have fought for him. Like, I think his choice to commit suicide was the biggest mistake he ever made, and it was just wrong in every sense. And I'd fight on his behalf to keep him alive no matter what. I would.
Debbie, can you understand that maybe that, obviously no one wants to switch off that machine, but Emmanuel thinks that all life is precious.
Yeah, I can understand that too. Yeah, that's a hard one to a point, but also, see, suicide is a catch-22, and it is a very, very sore subject as to why. We're never really going to have the answer as to why somebody will take their life when, as we say, life is precious. But for them, at that time, life wasn't precious for them. They obviously felt at that time it was for them to go. And as much as we can say, if only I knew, if only I could have done this, if only I could step in, I suppose. I suppose save them all.
We're more talking about assisted suicide, and I suppose
assisted suicide too. Actually, I know it's a different thing. But if someone, and you could have the opportunity, not saying it's an easy situation for anybody to be in. I don't even think a doctor wants to do it first thing. But if it's something that somebody wants to ask, and they're been pleading and they're in pain, and this is their chance.
Do you think it's an unreasonable thing to ask a doctor to carry out euthanasia? Because, I mean, doctors, in fairness, doctors are, I suppose, are supposed to be there to protect life. Now, if suddenly...
now they have to do the opposite.
Suddenly they have to do the opposite if it's made legal in Ireland. Do you think that's a step too far to ask a doctor to do that?
Yeah, it's like to a point, yeah, but then it's not easy to debate, isn't it? Like to sit there, but when you see and you suffer, and that person is pleading to end their life.
Yeah, it's hard to deny that, I suppose. Yeah, 67978F104. Thank you, Debbie. No one would want their beloved to continue suffering or being in a comatose situation, but let me assure your listeners, the pain of having to switch off life support stays with you forever. I suppose you can relate to this, Emmanuel. I had to do it for my darling husband. Years later, it still haunts me and hurts me, says Katrina on 53104. Let me see. This topic is so upsetting. Some people are fighting to live and others are fighting to die. I feel so guilty every day. No, it is. I can understand how this topic, is upsetting, but, imagine how Siobhan feels, who felt the need to write into us as her husband is in hospice as we speak. So I suppose put yourself in Siobhan's position. It's certainly more upsetting for Siobhan going through this than it is for a listener listening to this, assuming you have no connection to someone going through their final stages. 6797F104 is the number. I want to go to Gina now. Gina, you're live on F104. Hey, Gina.
Hi, how are you?
Very good. What do you think, Gina? Do you think assisted suicide should be legal in Ireland?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I'm a absolute total support of it. I have MS, and now thank God I'm doing very, very well with it. And I feel so sorry for that girl that's in the hospital sitting beside her husband's bed.
Yeah.
And I think when anybody gets a diagnosis of a long-term illness that there's no cure for, and there's quite a lot of them out there, especially neurological problems, that when you get your diagnosis and when you're in your full, your full health and you have all your marbles, shall we say, and you can make decisions for yourself, that you should be allowed to put a packet in place that you can put in place.
If you get worse, that you've almost like similar to like a will in some ways. Gina.
Yeah, like a living will.
Yeah.
That you can say when you get to a certain stage, we'll say that you can do nothing, that you're getting to the stage that you can do nothing for yourself, like you can't feed yourself, you can't look after yourself, you can't go to the toilet, you can't. You basically have no quality of life.
So Gina, you have MS.
Yes.
And you're saying you're getting on grand at the moment. I think we actually talked about MS before in the show before, and I suppose it was quite. I was quite surprised actually. There's a lot of people out there who have MS and are not really hindered by it on a day-to-day basis.
No, but it's the kind of illness that maybe it could be fine today and it could turn on the flip of a coin.
Right, gotcha. So
it's because it's a neurological thing.
Yeah.
It depends. You could get more lesions, or it could, it's a very peculiar kind of a disease.
Unpredictable, yeah.
Yeah.
Gina, have you made plans? Have you had that conversation with family members that what happens
had it
if...
with everybody that'll listen to me knows.
Right.
Anybody, like my friends, my family, everybody knows. I'm checking out, absolutely. I'm not sticking around. As soon as my health...
What do you mean by that, Gina, specifically?
Being realistically, as soon as I can't look after myself fully, I'm not sticking around. I'll be out of here.
As in you'll be on the way to Switzerland?
I'll be going to assist. I'll be either going to Switzerland or I'll be doing something major, because I'm not... Once I cannot look after myself, I won't be hanging around here.
Emmanuel, can you understand that? Gina has MS. She's obviously put a lot of thought into what happens if she gets worse.
I respect her having that opinion, but I'd urge her as one human being to another. I'd urge her to muster every ounce of strength and character and face death with
No, because you don't know what it's like when you're an independent person and used to doing everything for yourself, and you have to rely on other people. You cannot do that. And having a neurological, you have to think of that. No. I don't care about anybody else, and you have to put yourself in my shoes and that lady that's sitting beside her husband's bed watching her husband die at the minute. And it's a very and the pain that man is in and that I have every day of my life. It's not just you're there and you have no pain. You have pain every day of your life. You have to live with a very painful disease.
I can only imagine. I'm sorry, I'm not going to claim to be an authority on pain, right? I don't know what it's like for you, and I'm really
people
sorry
think
for you.
that you're banding about these 2 letters, or that poor lady with her husband there with motor neurons, and that other girl that rang in about her poor sister that was very young. People don't just think of these things lightly. Assisted suicide, it's not a thing that you think about lightly. It's a very, very serious thing. People don't.
Right, I'll put this to you. I want you, right, to go away and consider the hearts and souls of everybody who loves you and everybody who wants you to stick around to the bitter end because they love you so much. That's all I say.
Oh, come here. It's not a thing that I'm going to go out and do tomorrow or anything. I'm talking about when I am literally...
But hang on, Emmanuel, you're assuming that Gina's family do want her to stick around to the bitter end and do want her to go through that pain.
Maybe there are people who agree with her, but I'm sure there are plenty of people that don't want her to do it.
I'm talking about when I have no quality of life, that you can't literally lift a teacup for yourself or go to the bathroom on your own, or you have absolutely that you're sitting in a bed looking literally the bottom of the bedroom or wherever you're going to be, or in a hospital room looking at 4 walls closing in on you every day. What quality of life is that to live? That's no quality of life. That is absolutely no quality of life for anybody, and I don't think anybody would like to live like that.
I think a lot of people, I mean, judging by your Facebook, we put the topic up earlier on Facebook, Gina, a lot of people would be in agreement with you that option should at least be there. Should be there if you want it.
Especially when you're in, when you're in your senses. If you brought it in now, this sounds awful, and don't take this up the wrong way. Everybody will be getting rid of, that will say they're elderly, that they're fed up looking after or whatever. You have to be able to make the decision when you're in your senses, have all your faculties, not people just offloading people.
No, I mean, look, to be fair, I think most normal, rational thinking people aren't going to use it as an excuse to off someone, though, Gina. I think,
no, but you know what I mean?
I mean, I do. I know what you mean.
Say people that home looking after elderly relatives or things like that.
What you're saying is
nothing like that. You have to be in your senses.
Yeah. What you're saying is the decision should have been made, a couple of years in advance or a couple of months in advance when they're corpus mentis, they're thinking correctly.
Exactly,
right,
yeah.
I got you. Stick with us, Gina, if you can. A couple of people want to talk to you. 53104 for 20 cent is the number. Is this guy got the Catholic guilt syndrome, someone says on 5214? Well, we'll ask him in a second, Emmanuel. Obviously, look, we don't want to bring religion into this, but obviously, Emmanuel holds particular views and particular, views on faith, and I suppose that is shaping his view on euthanasia. But he wouldn't be the only person that's against euthanasia. And other people might be against euthanasia. There's nothing to do with religion. Some people think that life is precious. And look, who doesn't agree that life is precious? There's no one out there that doesn't agree. But at what point, you heard Gina there, at what point do you let your loved one make the decision to end their own life when they're in so much pain? I mean, is their life precious then when they're going through pain? Maybe in that circumstances, and I've never gone through it, but reading between the lines what Siobhan says, maybe the precious thing to do is death in that case, to relieve them of that pain. Siobhan wrote into us earlier on, her husband is currently in a hospice in his last few days, a few hours, and think about it from her point of view. Maybe she would also agree life is precious, but also maybe death is probably an escape for her husband. 6797 F104. Sharon, hiya Sharon.
Hi, how are you?
Very good, Sharon. What do you want to say? You want to talk to Emmanuel?
Well, I just wanted to add in a point, like Manuel said something there about people fighting till the bitter end, and life is precious till the bitter end, and I'm totally in agreement that life is precious. And my 26-year-old sister, life was it was the most precious to her, and she enjoyed and cherished every single moment of it. But when she was lying there in the bed in her last few days, that wasn't a life to her. It was no life. So, it was no life for her to be. It wasn't. How could it be precious when she was lying there, unable to even move or get a drink for herself or scratch her forehead or speak to us? Because that's another point I want to make. Actually, is when they're near the end, palliative care practically helped them on their way anyway. But she was so doped up with drugs, she wasn't even awake. So, that's why I would be totally in agreement with it, is because palliative care do actually help you on your way when you're at the end. So I don't see why the decision couldn't be made at an earlier stage. When I get to this point, I want to die.
Sharon, obviously your sister died quite young from it was motor neurons, was it?
Yeah, motor neuron disease, and she was 26. She got diagnosed at 24.
Right. When she got diagnosed, Sharon, did your sister or did yourself or did anyone else have the conversation beforehand when she wasn't sick?
My sister wanted to live. That's the thing. She wouldn't have chose to die, but I do believe that everyone should have the choice.
So she wouldn't have chosen.
Definitely no, not a chance. She loved life, and she would have hung into the bitter end. But when I had to watch what she went through, I really believe every person should have the choice, because if I was told tomorrow that I had motor neurons, I would want to die when I got to a certain stage. Because I've seen what it done to her.
So she wouldn't have chosen that?
Oh God, no. Yeah. No, she loved life, absolutely loved it and cherished it. I know she wouldn't have chosen it. I just know she wouldn't have. She would have kept going. But
so,
unfortunately,
Sharon, you know then exactly what Siobhan is going through, who sent this in.
Yeah, I
with her
do,
husband.
because I was kind of, I hate to say this, and I've never said it out loud, and I can't believe I'm actually saying it on air, but I was willing my sister to die because she was going through so much. And I can't believe I'm even saying that, but it's just horrible. It's horrendous, like. And I understand that Emmanuel had the other end of it, where somebody tried to take their life. That is a totally different situation. But people just you have to be in the position. You have to be in it. You can't, I can't judge his position. They were in a totally different situation. But he cannot be saying that someone should hold on to the bitter end. You just can't say that about it. That poor woman is at her lowest watching her husband die, and he's probably the same. He probably can't even move his hand or do anything or ring a bell for a nurse, or can't even ask for a drink or nothing.
I'm sure there's a lot of people listening to you that wouldn't judge you at all for saying that you would will your sister to die, because I think it's coming from compassion. No one's going to judge you for that.
No, I didn't. I mean,
Emmanuel, I'm sure you wouldn't even begrudge Sharon for feeling that way, willing her sister to die because she saw the suffering she was going through.
No, and I wouldn't judge her at all, because in our situation, when we had Glenn in the comatose state, we had to make a decision to let him have what he wanted and to say goodbye to him and just bless him and let him go. He got what he wanted in the end, but I just think it's a very sad thing to give up, and it shouldn't be encouraged, and especially when it comes to official government policy to allow it to happen. Then you have the tail end of it, where Sweden is debating whether they should allow mentally ill people to take their lives, assist them in their own suicide. That's I said earlier on, it's just nip it in the bud and just establish the law that life is holy.
No, we're talking about a terminal illness is what we're talking about here. A terminal illness that once you get diagnosed, you are, it's a death sentence. It's an absolute death sentence. And let me tell you, motor neuron, when you get to the final stages, it's not a pretty sight, let me tell you.
Well, I'm sure, I smoke 40 cigarettes a day. I'm sure at some point in the future I'm going to have to face my own mortality. The doctor's going to sit me down and say, look, you're dying. I'm going to have to endure that just as much as anybody else. It's a part of life on earth. I understand that's a part of life, but not everyone has to do it on the motor neuron route.
Motor neuron, if you just that's the whole point I'm trying to make. People don't understand what motor neuron does to somebody. Okay, it might put them in a wheelchair. They can't walk, they can't talk, they can't use their hands. But you don't see all the other side of it. They practically choke on their own spit. They can't even swallow. They're just constantly choking. You're putting tubes down their throat. You're suctioning out everything out of them. They're just really, really suffering in the bed. They're not just lying there all peaceful and getting doped up with drugs all the time. It's not like that. It's actually horrendous. It's actually horrific to watch it. And I'm sure a load of people that work in care homes and everything would actually agree with me on that.
Right. Okay.
I suppose the point that Sharon was making as well is that her own sister, who died very young, 26 years of age, from motor neurons, actually wouldn't, in Sharon's opinion, wouldn't have wanted to assisted suicide. She would wanted to live to the bitter end, as you put it, Emmanuel. But I suppose what Sharon's saying is she should have at least had the choice. Not everyone, is that what it's more about, is having the choice? Not everyone is going to choose it.
Available to everybody and let the people decide what they want for themselves. I understand what you're saying. But I'm thinking if you allow it, establish it in the law, many people are going to make mistakes, right? They should be encouraged to embrace life on earth, embrace Mother Nature, and fight to the bitter end,
Okay.
Muster your courage and strength and be human.
Okay.
I'm not saying you're not a human. Like if you want not to suffer, like that's the most reasonable thing in the world. But just fight with your spirit. That's what I'd say.
My sister did fight with her spirit all the way. That's the whole point I'm making.
Right.
Not everybody.
Don't invite somebody who's healthy and well to switch off your life support machine. It's something easy for them. But
no. Come here and I tell you now. Palliative care had to pump up my sister full of drugs for a whole 2 weeks to keep her asleep, just to try to keep her something.
In the full.
Emmanuel, I don't think like Jean is still there. Gina, I don't think that doctors would do it easy.
Can I get back in there just for 1 second?
Sure, go ahead. Yeah.
Emmanuel is comparing. He said if he went into his doctor, the doctor would probably tell him he's dying, has lung cancer. He can stop his smoking if he really wants to.
What I'm
Sharon's
saying is,
sister, hold on, let me speak for 1 second.
Okay, go on.
Sharon's sister could not have got rid of her motor neurons disease. It's a neurological condition that is incurable, the same way as MS. If you really want it, you have a nicotine addiction. You can stop that at any time with help. You cannot cure these diseases that we're talking about. Can you understand that?
I understand. The only comparison I had is from my own life.
I know, but you don't seem to get.
We're comparing the moment of a terminal illness. I was talking about a terminal illness. I'm sure I'm going to have to face it.
Yeah, but you don't know that you have it. You haven't been diagnosed. You actually cannot put yourself in our shoes and comment on something that you don't know about at the moment. We're speaking about things that we actually know about, that Sharon has dealt with, that I am going to have to deal with.
Right.
So I know the road I'm going down. Sharon has been down that road. Sharon has been down that road, and I know where I'm going.
I'm not here to argue with you, Janie Mac. I understand, right? I feel sorry for you and everything. I'm just encouraging you to endure life to the bitter end and accept every single thing that has to throw at you. That's all I'd encourage you.
I got to take a break in a sec, but Manuel, I'll pick you up on something. Like, you seem to think that it would be easy, though, for a doctor to just switch off a machine or administer euthanasia. I don't think
if it becomes law, they'll be doing it left, right and centre. Look at what they're doing in Sweden. They're debating whether...
I know, you keep saying that. I know, yeah. I mean, what is that one of your main concerns, though? If say, euthanasia is made legal in Ireland, that would open up the floodgates to everyone being allowed assisted suicide.
When you say yes to one thing on the bench, you're saying yes to everything on the bench.
All right, okay. Right, listen, I've got to take a quick break and well behind on my breaks here. 6797 FM104. Hi, Keith. There is palliative care in every hospital, and if that doesn't work, the hospice shut them down, says Mary in 5304. Does that really go on? I suppose it does in some circumstances, although officially probably maybe it isn't said. I don't know. Guys, real mental illnesses can be a life sentence to a person too, and death can be a relief to that person in the end, says John, in response to what Emmanuel was saying there. I totally agree with Gina. That's why I was what I was trying to say, as in make the decision when a person is fit and healthy. Motor neurons. And Gina, who has MS and who has had the conversation what happens if she gets sick, she says she wants to get check out as quickly as possible if she gets really bad. How do you feel? Should assisted suicide be made legal in Ireland? 53104 for 20 cent. You're very welcome back. Lots of comments coming in about this. Grace says, no one should have to suffer. It's 2017, not 1900. Absolutely, especially for people with motor neurons and other conditions that strip people of their dignity. Absolutely, yes. 100%, another person says. Lots of people in agreement. I must say, Emmanuel, it does seem that the vast majority or the consensus is in favour of legalising assisted suicide.
Right, it wouldn't surprise me. Today. You know, there's plenty of change happening. You know?
No, I mean, look, I can get from where you're coming from, Emmanuel, but at the same time, you've heard from Gina and Sharon there who've gone through it, whether Gina has a very debilitating disease or, Sharon has watched her loved one. So maybe it's easy for yourself or even myself who hasn't experienced it to comment on it, but maybe you don't know until you get to that circumstance.
No, I said I have no experience of excruciating pain for any period of time. I do know what it's like to be completely dependent, right?
Yeah.
When I first broke down, I was so badly retarded that I couldn't get out of bed and dress myself, nor make a cup of tea. Right, I was completely dependent on people around me. I'm diagnosed with an illness that could take a turn for the worst in the future. I could end up being tormented in the hands of fucking mental health nurses in a mental health ward for the rest of my life. Never see the light of day again.
For people just don't know, you suffer from schizophrenia.
I'm diagnosed with chronic paranoid schizophrenia. Okay. So it's possible. I know what it's like to be dependent and disabled, and I know what it's like to have a bleak future, medical wise, right?
But I suppose, Emmanuel, I
don't ever want to come to the point in my life where I'm going to give up and say, take me life.
Yeah, I know, but I suppose schizophrenia is probably a little bit more treatable than motor neurons, which currently...
Well, look, you had a texter coming on, you had a texter specifically about mental illness. Mental illness, he said, is a debilitating disease that only death can cure.
Yeah, John said real mental illness can be a life sentence to a person too, and death can be a relief to that person in the end.
Well, that's a terrible thing to broadcast out to people with mental illness, because it's planting the seed in their head that death is better, when they should endure it to the bitter end. I'm speaking as a schizophrenic to other people who are going through the torment of psychosis that won't cure, right?
I should also point out, well, first of all...
Fight all your passion and all your spirit.
Yeah, first of all, the broadcast, it's someone texting in, their opinion. But you're right, though. It should be pointed out that, especially in cases of, dark depression.
There's so many vulnerable minds out there that are going to take that out of context.
Well, listen, these sort of things comes in waves, I suppose, as well. That not necessarily just because you wake up one day or 1 week and you feel like it's the end, it doesn't necessarily mean that feeling's going to last forever, I suppose. But unfortunately, when you're talking about assisted suicide and these debilitating diseases, they only go one way, unfortunately, Manuel. But listen, I have to move on. But thanks for the comments.
Can I leave you with just a couple of words?
Go on.
To quote Dylan Thomas, right?
Yeah.
Rage against the dying of the light. Don't go quietly into the night, he said. And they're beautiful words, very spiritual, man. Just, that's why I leave you.
Okay. Well, I'll say it here. Someone said as well, come on, rage against the dying of the light. Dylan was a raging alcoholic. God forgives humans.
He had a fighting passion for life.
God forgives humans, try to survive. God wants you, and you are not someone else. Wake up. Someone else in response to Dylan Thomas. There you go. But anyway, listen, I have to move on. Thanks, Emmanuel, for that. Leaving us with a bit of poetry towards the end there. Obviously, it's a very bleak subject. It's a very bleak topic, but I suppose these things have to be talked about from time to time. We're all going to die at some stage. I hate to be morbid, but look, that's just the way it is. So, and it's probably a conversation that Irish people don't really talk about too much. And maybe it's only when it's brought to your door, a bit like Gina there, who unfortunately was diagnosed a while ago with MS. She has had that conversation. But maybe it's something that we don't talk about until we probably have to. But I must admit, I don't know what the chances are of assisted suicide being made legal in Ireland, given the fact that we're still debating whether abortion should be made legal. And we're still looking for a date on when that, when that should take place, that referendum. I would say the referendum, if it ever comes, for assisted suicide is probably a long way away. And unfortunately, people like Siobhan, who is currently sitting in a hospice at the moment, watching her husband die effectively, it's going to be of little relief to her, I suppose. 53104 for 20 cent. Some of your comments coming up after the break.
The all-new FM104 Phone Show with Keith Ward and John Barrell. Need a mattress in a hurry? Mattress Express at Des Kelly Interiors on the Long Mile Road.
FM 104.
You're very welcome back. I say a lot of people here in this country would have older people killed off. God help us. All the country has gone mad, says Maggie in 53104. Again, I don't know, like it's like the abortion thing when some people think when abortion, or some people who are against abortion think that if abortion's going to be made legal, that it would just open up the floodgates and people get abortion willy-nilly. I suppose that's the same type of concern from some people who think that if euthanasia or assisted suicide was made legal in Ireland, that everyone would go out and, you know, knock off their elderly family members. I don't think that's the case at all, but you would have heard from some people tonight that think that should be at least available, at least the choice should be available. But anyway, 53104 for 20 cent. I'll try to read out some of the comments a little bit later on towards the end of the show. Now, a lot of you have been texting in asking us to talk about this because it's probably, let's face it, it's probably the biggest fight, at least, you know, money wise anyway, that's going to take place. The press conference for Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather was on. It's probably just over about a half an hour ago. The first one in LA, I think it was. And lots of people have been texting us in, asked us to talk about it. It was one of those times where I felt like, do I have to be in work for this? Boy, I'd love to just go outside and watch this, because like you're talking about two massive entertainers, Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather, two smack talkers. So if you've seen it, if you were watching the press conference live online, I think it was free online as well, let us know how it got on. How was Conor? Was he his usual confident, cocky self? Was he able to handle someone as I suppose as big as Floyd Mayweather? Because, you know, usually Conor's talking down to people that not everyone's heard of, or maybe they're not as cocky. This is Floyd Mayweather. It's the best boxer in the world, probably even ever. So I wonder how Conor got on. If you watched it, let us know. Was it actually worth the watch? Because we're going to go home and watch it after this. 6797 F104. Here's one or two of the clips from earlier on, from the press conference that stand out. It's a bit of back and forth. It's Mayweather getting a bit lippy, and then it's Conor getting a bit lippy.
I don't give a fuck if it's a ring. I don't give a fuck if it's an octagon. Put me in there and I'ma kick ass. Don't be talking shit. You do give a fuck if it's an octagon.
There you go. Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor. Look, in my humble opinion, I think Mayweather does give a crap if it's an octagon. Here's another one of Conor slagging him off about what Mayweather is wearing.
He's in a fucking tracksuit. He can't even afford a suit anymore.
6797 F104 if you're watching earlier on. Was it worth the watch? You know, and are you going to watch the fight when it kicks off? Apparently this is one of four. I think it's 4 press conferences. So they're doing LA, then they're like doing Toronto, they're doing somewhere else, probably New York or something, and then they're doing London. Apparently, so no Dublin date. 53104 for 20 cent. Let me see, Aaron. Hi, Aaron.
Sorry, Keith. How you doing?
You're live in FM104. You saw the press conference. What you make of it?
I thought it was alright. Like, it was just a standard press conference.
Only alright?
Yeah, no, I didn't really see much in it. But I thought the McGregor fella got put in his place for once. He shut up then when he was slagged off about tapping out.
Oh, really?
Tonight, yeah. It was put up to him, and he kind of shut up then. He didn't know what to say then. Like,
this was the thing. I've heard Mayweather throw that at Conor before, getting tapped out by Nate Diaz, which is fair enough. Obviously, he did, but at the same time, it's not like that's obviously not going to happen in a boxing fight. So I think it's almost an irrelevant thing to say.
Oh yeah, but I know he walked out swinging his arms and all that, and then he was going at it, and then he showed up. Then as soon as that was said to him, he was just stunned. He didn't know what to say. You can tell he got fucking pissed off by it. Like, but
how did you think in comparison to say other press conferences that you would have seen, Aaron? You don't want to talk about in press conferences with Nate Diaz, Eddie Alvarez.
I'd rather see trouble at it, like you know what I mean, like a bit of shoving, fuck a water bottle or two maybe or something. But Oh no, it was probably just well planned or whatever. They probably talked about all that, like obviously beforehand. So.
And did they face off?
Yeah, they faced off at the end. It was 90 seconds there down at the end. So it was long enough, like, but just mounting, and then they got close. Then I thought someone was going to push someone, but then they didn't in the end. Like, but no, all overall it was just a standard conference. Like, I didn't really see anything explosive about it. Like, it was funny, but
because when
they're much better in USC though. I think the boxing conferences are more. They aren't as lively. Like your man at the start was, I was talking shit for fucking 3 or 4 minutes.
Who?
There was some bloke at the start who was introducing it from the boxing.
Is it Al Heyman or one of?
I haven't a clue. But it was boring as fuck anyway. And then Dana White had to kind of get the crowd going then after. But other than that, though, like, it was alright.
So you're saying it wasn't as kind of fully charged as the UFC press conference?
No, because in the UFC conference, it's real lively. Fighters are at it.
If you remember, Aaron, alright, they did a bit of a world tour for it, but the Jose Aldo McGregor press conference, remember the one in Dublin? Conor McGregor gets up and steals Jose Aldo's belt. Everyone goes absolutely insane. The lads go mental. Then you remember the McGregor Nate Diaz thing, they start fecking bottles at each other. They both get fined like 250 grand. And this was a bit of a damn squid.
Yeah, I just think Mayweather's like, he's no entertainer. I think he's real boring. Like, he was just boring for me. He just came out like he was half-arsed in a fucking tracksuit, as he said, and he didn't really say much. Just kept walking up and down off the stage. He's just no entertainer. Like, it's like he's fucking terrified or something.
Well, this is what someone says on Fight 204. Someone says, per press conference, they turned off McGregor's mic because he kept interrupting.
Yeah, he kept interrupting when Mayweather was talking. He kept shouting over him.
Yeah.
And he kept walking away then from the mic. So I think the mic was cut because he couldn't get a word in. It was cut off then in the end.
That's a bit disappointing when you think about it, right? Because a lot of people, the people who don't give McGregor a chance, right? We'll talk about that in a second. But people that don't give McGregor a chance will say that at least I'm looking forward to the press conferences because that should be, a bit of crack, whatever. You're saying it was a bit of a letdown. It doesn't.
Yeah, well, I think the whole thing is not based around Conor McGregor fighting Mayweather. It's based around Mayweather in general. So he probably has all these rules set in place. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're hardly gonna throw Conor Mike and fucking obliterate him on the stage. He's obviously not going to be like that. I mean, I wouldn't even call it a fight. I just think it's just a fucking match underneath Mayweather's rules. I can see it being fucking unfair. That's probably when it's not as explosive.
Given the scale of the press conference as in compared to other ones that Conor McGregor did, do you think Conor looked a bit nervous? Did he look himself, or was he his usual self?
I thought he was his usual self. Now, when they mentioned the tap thing, I think that kind of got to him then, because there was like 20 or 30 seconds where he literally was just, stunned by it. Because he can't really say that. He can't really, you know what I mean? I mean, he did tap after 2 or 3 seconds, 10, 8 yards. And he was like,
I must say though, it was a bit ballsy of Mayweather to I'll play it again actually for saying you haven't heard it. A bit ballsy of Mayweather to say this about, he doesn't give a crap if it takes place in an octagon. Are you insane? If Mayweather got into an octagon, what would last, Aaron? About 20 seconds, I'd say.
Well, I don't know.
I would. Come on. Conor would just kick the legs off him.
No, well, you wouldn't know. It is a sport, but it's worth testing. I think, anyone has a chance. So I wouldn't really write him off and say he'd get killed in an MMA ring.
Well, all right.
It's dangerous in the ring. This is dangerous in the octagon than he is in the ring.
All right. Well, this is what he said about it.
I don't give a fuck if it's a ring. I don't give a fuck if it's an octagon. Put me in there and I'ma kick ass. Don't be talking shit. You do give a fuck if it's an octagon.
At least Conor, put him back in his place in that one. Alright, so massive letdown. A couple of people actually texted in similar to that, Aaron. They weren't impressed, or they're a bit underwhelmed by the whole thing, which is a bit disappointing considering this has been billed as the biggest, fight of all time, money wise, and it's going to be this and that, and the first press conference seems to be a little bit less than exciting. So maybe I want to. Do you think I should bother even watching it back, Aaron?
No, I'm not going to watch it back.
No. Right, fair enough. If you've seen the press conference, you're watching it earlier on, do you agree with what Aaron says? Aaron thinks it was a bit of a letdown. I'm disappointed by that. disappointed by that review. I was looking forward to watching that when I went home, just the bits and pieces. Let me say, he says he would knock him out in 4 rounds. It's just about money. Conor has a foul mouth. God help his son with a dad like that. I'm glad it will not take place in Ireland. I'm sure his son will grow up to be healthy and fighting fit. To be fair, I think there's more to being more to upbringing than just the language that you have coming out of your mouth. I think it's also about how you keep yourself physically, mentally, that sort of thing. I think it's a good example for kids to follow. 53104 for 20 cent. If you saw the press conference earlier on, let us know what you made of it. And do you think it's going to be as good as it's been made out? Because before tonight, it's been billed as the biggest thing ever to happen. Heard what Aaron said there. Heard it was some of the text that I read out. Apparently, it's not.
He's in a fucking tracksuit. He can't even afford a suit anymore.
Conor McGregor there commenting on what John Barrow's wearing currently.
Excuse you, I wouldn't be caught dead in a tracksuit.
Oh, that's bloody disappointing. Did you catch on of it yourself? Now, I know you're busy outside working, but
bits and pieces.
Snippet, no?
Just bits and pieces, man. There was at one point, Mayweather brought out, he goes, hand me that bag.
Yeah.
Unzips the bag, whips out a check, and goes, that's how much I'm making. We haven't even hit the ring yet.
Who said that? Mayweather. So Mayweather. Why didn't he bring out a bag full of cash? That would have been more
that's what I thought he was going to do. I thought he was going to start throwing cash and making it rain.
So hang on, he had a bag with a check in it.
With a check in it, yeah.
Could he not have just taken the check out of his... Not taking the check out of his pocket. Would he bring a bag for a check?
It was a heavy check.
There.
I don't know.
He's missing something. What was Conor wearing? We're talking about what Mayweather was wearing.
Conor was wearing a suit, standard suit.
Yeah. Shades? Was he wearing shades?
Didn't have shades on, I don't think. No. Was chewing gum.
All right.
Yeah, like Ryan Curtis here the other day. Chewing gum, yeah.
They like the MMA fighter. Ryan Curtis was live in studio, and we didn't even know. And then people go, "So what? He's chewing gum." For radio, it's obviously not the best to be up.
Yeah, it's irritating.
Yeah, but we didn't know until we went live and put up the headphones. But do you know what? Was I going to tell Ryan Curtis what to do? Was John? No.
Yeah, I did.
He ended up choking us out, for God's sake. If Ryan Curtis wants to come in and chew as much gum as he wants, feel free.
Yeah, happy days, mate. Yeah. You do what you need to.
You just feel comfortable, Ryan. Yeah. Don't go about it too much. 53104 for 20 cent. If you saw the press conference earlier on, what did you make of it? It seems the consensus seems to be that it was pretty disappointing.
Yeah, I don't know if it was just because it was, a mixture between boxing and MMA, UFC. Like
what Aaron
more classy with boxing.
More reserved.
Yeah.
Well, what Aaron was saying there was that the UFC kind of do it a little bit more. Like they build it up. They make it into. Now, boxing used to be like that.
Yeah.
But obviously UFC taking it one thing further. So maybe I don't know, maybe boxing weren't used to that sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Someone says on 53104, just noticed the design of McGregor's suit. It said FU on it. Did it?
Oh, guy, wow. Another text in there. It was not a standard suit. Zoom in to see the stripes.
Was not a standard suit. Zoom in on the stripes. Why? What?
Because that's obviously what I was saying. FU.
I see.
I nearly said it there, Keith.
Sorry, the thing was, John wasn't wearing his glasses. If you listened earlier on, John had an issue with his contact lenses, so he wasn't able to make out the FU.
I'm still blurry in that left eye. Yeah. I think I'll go for laser soon.
Oh, don't. No. Someone said it to me to go for laser, because I have... what sort of eyesight? Eyes. No. What sort of eyesight do I have?
Bad.
Not the best, I would say.
I'm not wrong.
No,
nearsighted.
I can't see long distance.
Yeah, so you're nearsighted.
Yeah, like I need my glass for driving. I don't need it really all the time. I don't need it for reading. So anyway, someone said to me, "Oh yeah, laser eye surgery. Sort that out in seconds." I was like, "Are you mad? Laser on my eye sounds like the most painful thing ever."
It makes your eye go mad blood red.
But in some cases, it can blind you.
No, it can't.
Some cases.
No, it can't.
No, seriously. It's probably not that likely. It probably isn't that more likely.
How would you know? You weren't even cop to later on.
Does it not sound horrible?
Laser eye?
No. I'll just stick with the glasses. Again, I don't wear the glasses all the time. So
I'm sure they make you look sophisticated, Keith.
Yeah, someone said nerdy earlier on. What did someone say to me earlier on Facebook Live, remember?
Oh, they said a lot of abuse.
Oh, no, they said I look like an egghead.
An egghead, yes.
From the quiz show, I assume.
Or maybe just in general.
Well, I wouldn't have a very oval-shaped head, to be honest.
Move back there, move away from the mic there a little bit.
Go on.
Yeah, it's a bit oval-shaped, to say it.
But you're not saying an egghead.
It's round in the middle, narrow on the top.
Round in the middle, narrow.
Like an egg.
Okay, no, it's not. It's not.
You're going to be mad self-conscious.
Yeah, no, you know what I'm going to do. Yeah. Gav, get me a mirror, quick. Anyway, some of the papers you're going to be waking up to tomorrow as not only listeners, but now John Barrell insults me. Front page of the Irish Mirror. Obviously leads with Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather press conference. To be fair, right, I'm just after now because this is the first time I'm seeing what they look like. John and Gavin has been watching the bloody thing while I'm on air working. Floyd Mayweather, yeah, he is wearing a tracksuit, but he's wearing his own branded tracksuit. He's wearing the money team. You know what I mean? It's not just a random tracksuit he threw together. It's his own label.
His own brand. Yeah,
that's fair. You know what I mean?
Still, would you not have dressed up a wee bit?
Yeah, I mean, considering he's supposed to be Money Mayweather. Yeah, Conor looks like he's the richer guy, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It says he's effed. Conor McGregor vows to knock Floyd Mayweather out inside 4 rounds. Conor McGregor fired a warning to Floyd Mayweather at a press conference in Los Angeles, telling the undefeated boxer Ace that he will knock him out inside 4 rounds. 4 bloody rounds. Ooh. Oh, wow. McGregor inspired by his newborn son to conquer the unconquerable. That's a hard word to say.
That is tough.
But I
well
pulled it
done.
off. Unconquerable. Shout out to my son, he says. So lots of coverage on that press conference on the Irish Sun. They got lots of videos of it as well.
There's 4 in total they're going to do, yeah?
4 ones, yeah. They're going to do Toronto after this, apparently, and somewhere else in America. I assume New York or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe Vegas, maybe. And definitely London. So London is the closest we're going to get to.
They're not doing it over here.
No, they're not doing Dublin. Which I thought,
it's a bit.
I can get, obviously there's a bigger audience in London than there would be in Dublin. Well, would there be, actually?
But it's his home. It's his hometown.
Yeah.
You think he would have pushed for it?
I think they missed the trick. You see, what it appears to be is Mayweather's pulling all the strings here.
Right.
Because there was people going, oh, do you know what should happen on the undercard? You should get Katie Taylor and Michael Conlon on. Nah. Mayweather's picking who the boxers are, and he probably has never even heard of half of them. Seriously. Yeah. So, no, it seems by his rules only. But anyway, there's a picture of Conor McGregor looking pretty fly. Pink tie, pinstripe shirt, which I've been reliably informed by our listeners says FU on it. Classy guy. It's a
pretty cool suit, to be fair.
Bit of a letdown. Let me see. Let's have another look there. Yeah, lots of clips. We'll play that. What's that about? Oh, so this the face-off. Yeah, so there's
probably isn't going to be a lot of audio.
90 minutes.
Mayweather's not moving at all.
No.
Like stone.
Look at the death stare. Hang on, I'll go back. The death stare on Mayweather. Connor's chewing gum. He's kind of moving around a little bit. Kind of looks to me...
nervous.
Yeah. I'm only just seeing it like a little bit out of context. Connor looks a little bit nervous. He's moving around. He's kind of shadow boxing, trying to put Mayweather off. Mayweather's staring him dead in the eye.
Or staring past him, it looks like, because he's not eye level, look. McGregor's going
maybe McGregor isn't nervous, but that was my first thing when I just watched it there. Yeah, I think you're right, John. Anyway, there you go. Some of the other news that is not McGregor related, believe it or not, there is other news out there. Front page of the Irish Mirror. First picture of mum of tragic Dublin stab death, thought as both are named. We talked to the Irish Sun about this earlier on. Officers have described the death as a personal tragedy and said they're treating it with sensitivity. The 3-year-old boy stabbed to death in Dublin has been named as Omran. Gardaí are waiting to talk to the Tot's mum, Maha Al-Dahim, 42, who underwent surgery in hospital for slash wounds. They're treating it as a personal tragedy. It is understood there are at least 4 calls made to Gardaí from the apartment complex because of what locals described as shouting, banging and screaming. And the source said, this is the guards now, we are not looking for anyone else at the moment in relation to that incident. Which I suppose you can read through the lines on that one. Again, more stuff from Conor McGregor, obviously, there. Let me see. Garda goes on trial accused of harassing her lover's ex-wife. So first-time drink driving offenders to be banned from roads under new proposals. The new legislation passes motorists caught with between 50 and 81 millilitres of alcohol in their blood will face a 3-month ban. We might do that on the phone show tomorrow night.
I think.
I kind of feel like just ban it all together. Like, stop with the 50 mil and the 81, just ban it all together.
Well, what is 50 millilitres or 81 millilitres?
I haven't a clue.
Like, how much is that?
Probably minuscule. It's the only thing that this starts getting a bit touchy about. If you've had a couple of drinks the night before,
and it's the next day, it's still in your system,
it's still like even a minute bit in your system, is it fair that person gets banned for 3 months? I'm not so sure.
I don't know. Well, like, small, does 50 to 81 millilitres, does that affect your reaction time? Motor skills. If it does, then yeah, fair enough.
Well, they'll argue that any bit of alcohol affects you, but I know what you mean. If it's the night before, and even if you're a sensible drinker, should you be banned for 3 months on the back of that? I don't know. We'll talk about it tomorrow night anyway. I'm sure people will think that it's just a nanny state gone mad.
Yeah. Well, there's a comment there on that article said it's just a waste of guard of time.
Yep.
Getting small fry drinkers as opposed to people who are actually causing the crime. So look, we'll discuss it in depth tomorrow. Yeah. You can start getting your comments into us now. If you want to drop it onto the Facebook FM104 Facebook page, leave your comment there and we will contact you for it tomorrow.
Absolutely, and I suppose something that never gets talked about or as often, and it was drug driving. People kind of smoking weed or something else while driving. Let me see other stuff on the journal.ie. Trump says Donald Jr. is a high quality person. Imagine calling your son a high quality person.
Oh God!
And applauds his transparency over Russian meeting. Get lost. So if anyone doesn't know what this is about, right? He was asked. Donald Jr. was asked ages ago. Did a meeting take place between you and a Russian official or some bullshit before the election? He said no, he didn't. And then when he when he found proof that he did, he said no, it was about adoptions or something like that. Right. And then just like yesterday, just as like the New York Times was about to publish the actual meeting, like what went on,
yeah.
He then jumped the gun and said, feck it anyway. So he published it himself minutes before the paper did.
Oh wow!
So like, that isn't transparency, mate. That's just you jumping before you're pushed.
Yeah.
And pushed quite heavily as well to get that out. There's something else, aren't they? That'd be good to see. Actually, do you know what? Add Trump to the press conference with the Mayweather-McGregor press conference.
Give it a bit of flair.
Give it a bit of oomph. Can you imagine that? It'd be brilliant.
Here, look, talking about flair and press conferences. Oh, yeah. The Dwayne Rock Johnson thing.
I did.
Apparently it's taken another step to an actual being 2020 candidacy.
So the wrestler, Dwayne Johnson has applied or filed
for it, I think.
You have to file for it apparently to run for the presidency in 2020 or 2022?
I think it's 2020.
Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? 4 years from last year. That's insane. I'm sorry.
That's nearly as bad as Trump.
Absolutely. And you know, you have people out there, right? This is how fickle people are. People go, oh, Trump, boo, Trump. And by the way, I'm not a Trump fan. But, they go, oh, Trump. But they go, oh, yeah, The Rock, though, as president, be brilliant. It's idiots like that put Trump in the first place.
Yep.
He's a wrestler, for God's sake. What the hell does he know?
He's one of the highest paid actors in the world at the minute.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, but what the hell does he know about politics? Seriously.
I don't know. He can lift people, Keith.
It's ridiculous as yeah, I suppose he could actually. The Rock could sort out the Middle East himself.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's idiots like that who wanted Michelle Obama to run. Do you remember that?
Michelle Obama? Well, no, Michelle Obama would have more of a...
She would, maybe. Maybe.
The Rock.
Because The Rock. But doesn't mean she should
in the White House for a while.
Just because she was married to the president
doesn't
mean...
she'd have the ins and outs. She'd know. She could watch what Barack did and went, actually, I changed this. Behind every good man, there's a woman. Keith.
Well, no, not denying that. But, I'm just saying in that case... let's say a wife that's married to a doctor, maybe she can come in and perform the surgery next because she was married to a doctor.
Fair point.
Yeah, there you go.
Well done. It's one of the very few times I'll actually give you the win.
Yes, brilliant. I love it. And let me
no,
that's what we need to get
we need to get them refreshed.
We need to get a Bing or something.
Get Denzel on it.
Yeah. Anyway, Rock would do a better job. Someone said 5-3-1-4. Maybe he would, but
I don't know if he would.
Yeah, it wouldn't be very hard.
I prefer him in movies. I like seeing a Rock movie.
Yeah, it wouldn't be very hard. Any actor out there that I'd like to see, actually, Will Ferrell as the president will be comical for a while, wouldn't it?
You're not a fan of Will Ferrell, though.
Not anymore. No.
So that's why you want him to be a president.
I just want him to get a new gig. Anyway, there you go.
Shade for Farrell, God.
Some of the there are some of the papers that we're going to be waking up to tomorrow. Anything you want to get in touch with on the phone show, drop us a private mail on the all-new FM104 phone show. Some of the topics that you heard tonight were sent in by punters like yourself who wanted to either get something off their chest or obviously had very important stuff to say, a bit like poor Siobhan earlier on. So you can drop us a private message there or get us on WhatsApp on overnight on 087 6797 FM104. More phone show on the way. Here.